Please tell us your name.
Palden
Chonphel.
And His Holiness the Dalai Lama asked us to record the experience of older Tibetans to share with the younger generation of Tibetans, with Chinese people and with the rest of the world, to show the true experience and beliefs of the Tibetan people.
And that day, I'm going to give Palak me get up Lingdua. The Garamji Kalopta, Lamdu Shison, and I'm going to teach you. Karisanic Tanda Gango to get Peginetan, the get up Luki Mambuji. And on the Kodu Chena, and a Mambo Shunki and Peginetan Kanda Child was at Hakwe Chito. She can go last on it, Shuma Peg Yer Kanda Chunas and a tape Gajis Namaki. We get me to Ragmarwa. Didn't make no Gango again, Mirroregi, Kati, Sorvata Kanda David, and Tinechison, Shuma Penda Chimbush Rest and a Garam Kalop Shison Lango in the Yushua.
Tangaranda, some of the in a cutting thing as you and that had you. That's a pretty name that you can buy something like Governor, not going in Sweden.
I also feel that it is my great contribution to sharing such opportunities for your contribution to this issue.
Great. Do you give your permission? Just carry on. Do you give your permission for the Tibet Oral History Project to use this interview?
Palagi tanda ting adu ting argu lugu chik nangoro. Dik ngadu chiage en kugap en chokchen nangi roa palagi. Tanda chiwa tilis nang doa. Ting ngadu chokchen nangi roa. Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much.
To chest and get this chest garu.
Shall we just finish the protocol?
Yeah,
and then
sure.
we can continue.
Right, sure.
So during the interview, if you want to stop, take a break at any time, just let us know, yeah?
Down the tour to Lake of the Yanchi Gurumbuta Gorchin and Palayanchi, the Woodmana, and on the Dochelo, and I test some to sing at this Domundo and at the Chutunga Karchon, Palamna Tigre. Yeah, sure.
And if there's something you'd rather not answer, that's perfectly fine.
You see, another 200 the two Palakana get 200 lake taking Madras of Dobamena, and at the 200 lake taking Mestan again, do that.
If this interview was shown in China or Tibet, would this be a problem for you?
Tanto the Palaki look good, the Eric Purda cannot the Pala Mexican Tuesday.
I think it shows to be young and in the mid shoes and that kind of test kind of the first younger people that she will mean Margana territory, them where the Jigues Shanka.
Palakana Mexican indicate two more.
Malakana said, I can't tell you. Say, can't test me, Lona, since they don't think I don't check any. Can go in me, can't test Gaja.
There is no problem as I'm all ages almost.
So, Pala, thank you. We're very, very honored, and we really appreciate you taking the time to share your story with us today. Okay, now, Pala, could you describe your village in Tibet?
Pala Pela, Chundukan Pela, Peginetan Kande, Desek Lumba Kande, King.
Tangari Lumbineta Shanako samadok, Shingayor, Simjayor, Paju, Paju in Yaka look. Didn't Lumba Corachita Belumba give a show you? That's samador, Lumba Jibatin.
Yeah, our village is really very peaceful, and we do the nomads and the farming. And both at this yak and sheep and nearby out this one, all of we in our village, all these sort
of. Can you describe an early memory that you have from your childhood? Maybe one of the earliest things that you remember.
Machine Jung Tang Alun shoot in it to learn you should strong. That's what has over. Tijan and Arabe, Jung like hair, Miss Tangan, Caricians and a best Simjin getting already. I will show you looks so that's pushing in legacy and it there. Titimidation got a calendar legacy, Yamun shows our task come here, your Mary. Tijan Tibet shows it that Tonanship taken today. The color in the legacy, Jig so Simjin, Tire, that Jig. Great legacy, Mrs. Tunjani or Marwa. 티셔츠 배진자리에다 돈은 충분히 되고야지 지금 셈비다 구두도.
During early life, I have to concentrate on my what animal we had in the family and doing the farming work as this was the only resource to our families.
Did you live in a house or a tent?
강바요. 당한테는 사만도 세 강바 기부쇼요. 강바요. 구려. 다 손이 되고 다 미산식 있는 미산 치에다 교회는 이제 심지어요. 뭐냐고 제매로. 미산 심부 제디 구니 외다 뭐 가브리치도 룩로알 피지 소숨샤버리. 간니 샤샤란데. 신가다 마대는 사신 내가 전대 버리. 시사인 내가 군부되는 사신 내가 전서 말고 난도 대해 라래서 남래서 나부터 효치우래. 다 열가 되는 시각을 내가 주래. 야 진주 가서도 근데 룩을 내가 제리 야 내가 제리 주모 줘고래 룩 줘고 달 내가 효지래다 해매 구매 내가 빼빼미지 룩가 집어 인세 오메 빼 사자꾸나 뭐 집어 쇼래 근데 진짜 뒤에 더 말이 신가이는 추모 쇼다.
Yeah, being a big family, we have to live in separate with one tent and house, as we are farmer and nomad sports. So for a farmer and nomad, we used to stay in different. Our family has to divide and stay in different ways. For an animal, we have to use a tent, and area-wise and according to season-wise. And a farmer, we have to stay in house where are built by house. So we have to look each other in that. We have to divide our families and stay.
So some of the family members stayed in the tent,
Yeah.
and some of them stayed in the house, and it also depended on the season.
Yeah.
So which season did the family live in the tent?
로 말이다. 다다와 뒤에 뒤니 참 샤세 켜니오면. 뒤메가 남자로 미자 치에도 구 까와 툭 챙기지 그래. 초시라 까와 제 낀도 미래지는 까와 툭 챙가 툭스면 전부 지고. 중간이야 룩디베 대메지 토니 룩양 룩바 힘을 따다 대투마리양 굴중중 쪽에는 요고 치제 미직 진다직 신제로. 뒤에 뒤버로 총자라 가랑도 왔다. 총자 망부터에서 같은 뒤랑 알아. 대교 샤만 삼자 뒤에 망아치셔도세 까디 펴서. 효지.
빨리 동발을 섬제 가졌잖아.
당아리기 종발을 차샤는 약간 좀 덤비 숨겨져죠. 다야 마 쟤네 룩 동룩 사서 따라서 룩 동룩 사진하죠.
Being this one big family with having 300 yaks and 1,000 sheep, we almost have to stay in tent mostly with animals where we are looking. We have to stay in tent itself.
And how many members in your family?
빨리 남미나라 미 가졌잖아.
당에 남라야 숨쉬지. 당아서 태용도 계절에다.
그런데 뒤도 남을 가지고 거라.
태용도니 차샤가 있나? 남이 숨쉬지. 나 죽지. 지금 계시. 말한테 구이.
Including with myself 9 members.
And how was it decided who stayed in the house and who stayed in the tent? How was that decision made? Is it something to do with the age of the?
답변하는 가시 코다 동바 찍나는 좀 미고셔라. 가시 코나 되게 가시 강마 되게라 신가내가 제 가시 섬지쇼 두고라.
예.
수기 내가 디 섬지쇼를 껴도 와래 그 나를 될 신바치고 수기 뒤에 답조치 다제.
다티 타시에 바바카케는 시기에 되게 거라 마신 다티중에 보모지 때가 리티가 보모지 되고 다들 요구만 소리다 이 말이 진 사람 교육거나 요 말이 당에 바울 차이는 송자도 송자래로 말이 년남생도 되니 달감 피는도 다 종가를 피는 데서 차 디네 차내나 야 장을 보고 마땅가세 도리 마부쳤네 당 안서디 부구 제디 강부 거랑 준비지 가로 되다 망치 강부 지약소 거래 루도를 좀마 줘거로 다 망치고 내가 좀 맞은 거 돼요.
We are workers decided by the head of the family, like grandfather, grandmother, and my father was quite very busy, only on the business work. My father used to go to the doing business to the other areas and doing like a salt business and other wheat business and anything.
다 아마를 사샤는 신길내가 고쳤는데 신길내가 치고랑 치고 미역고 순전히 추땅고 두고 신길내가 가르치고 뒤쳤는데 그러다.
Mother has to lead all the farming works, and we cannot work on the farm with our family. It was not satisfied with our family, and we have to make a labors on that. We have to call the labors for our farming work also.
Because there was so much work.
So much work. Yeah.
So in terms of how well off people were in your village and where you came. Would you consider your family quite wealthy, or like where would you come in the scheme of things, of like very wealthy and then very poor? Like where would your family come?
Pedana pala kerage di thongse joradela. Thongse dinala ani te pala kerage thongati ani ke tikal chuga thare dinga thare kyo thare.
Tanga mizang sumbati. Thongpa tanga to tezu ni yordala. Tezu ni jinani tanga mizang 당부지 된다 대랑로 요래. 응도암제 세신이 미국에다 공주 된다 대다 부진하는 동송아. 제만 동 뭐시지 남자리. 동송아 뒤권도 동바 다 제타지. 진행 안도 롱발 차이잖아. 그때 바로 쓰지 된다 민ኛ 바로 더 대리. 된다 딱도 맞다빠디 시자리 된다 거의 유스케임. 다 디사망 니 같은 거.
I am the third person in that village, the most famous and most wealthy.
The third most wealthy.
Third most person.
And your father, he was a trader, and you said he traded salt and other things. Was he gone a lot of the time? Was he absent a lot of the time?
Tapala ke chungba kenya chungga jadi wara na dige.
다 송 오늘 자지 송 잘 보고 딱한테 주절에 열가 송디 된다 종가다 년남 세도 보고 다들 라칸가디 열기 좀 보고 다 군보 군가 있는 연주 땅가 세든 살린 거를 바다 구센티니 살려는 거고요.
Yeah, my father goes in summer to the Jonga Ingenam during the
I'm sorry, now you're going to have to start again. Ronnie was talking to me. What did you say? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
During summer vacation, summertime, summertime he has to go. Father has to go to the Ingenam village nearby and Zong doing the trades. And in winter he has to go to the collect the salts nearby. Say lensa kawan ni.
살len가 땅가 연주 땅가 세도 지금 예
지네 땅 연주 땅가 세도
바다 국 세도는 다 연주 땅가 예니 마양 향숨도 산마 도로 마 샤르고는 돈이 진짜 장부 청주리 담적한 비파 창라 장부파 창라리 장조 딱한테 마 샬라 말이 먼저 롱비전 샬라
롱바디 살렌서 롱바디 가사
연주 땅가 세도 다살 연예도 그런 차이 롱바 거를 사마다 다후는 장주 연주 땅가가 된다 봉바다 남자하고 그러와 봉바요 봉바다 양랑 시간이다 발양시 진주 봉바배 효리 그리 룩동로 먹된 진주사 디렉게 연주 땅갈 키야 만지 디니마 루쿠제니 디니뇨 답니 디니 송자고리 그냥 소지기 뽐비디야 전 차잡 전이 시고미지 소지 되면은 갑자기 되는 아니 유능거 쪽바 갑자기 생각도 갑자기 송자 그런 요면
다바단 송 파트는 파 추찰 파 같이
파 두죠
룩와
말이면 두두 남자 하고 말이야 다 두두 저기 제 밥에 되게 당한테 양제 밥에 년남도 종가 랑제 우리 제제 양디니 딱 앉아 송세 답는 시어 드려다 이제 다 거기 루서 드려 제대로
to the business trade through the Nyanam. They take this to the Pongba side, and there is the center of the where this salt trade, and they trade. So we give the fish to them and take the salt from them, and we cannot do directly trade. There will be villages there, and according to their instruction and they follow, we have to go according to them, and we are not able to go directly business. There is a third person in the business.
I see, there's a middleman.
A middleman.
So did you go with your father on these trips to collect the salt?
마찬가지 돈 딱한테 뒤로 가다가 뒤로 죽고 있니 죽고 저랑 바닥국 세지어야 산요사식 거야 대 바닥국 세냐 산요사를 차이하지는 송가 니월 땅가세도 바닥국 세 살랑세 지니야 대당 밥에다 진짜 키지 파지니 루던 진짜 그좀 양한테 가라도 같이 사디키지 년남다 종갈 양종을 따디 배훈이 그양 겹쳤다고 손을 캡상지 여기로 와 밑에 제는 로요
I went only once time before my age was 19, and it just before we came to Exla, I went with the father with taking weeds and what we collect from the Nyanam, and we went with them and we gave the weed to them and took the salt from that. There is a two direction where we can go to buy collect do a trade of the salt. One is the Sangha, that area, and another is before where is the Bongpa and that area.
But he wasn't going to actually collect the salt from the salt beds.
Not
right? He was going to get it from a middle person.
Middle person, and that was just a trade, not at the area where they started collect the
To
salt.
collect the salt. So what do you remember about that journey that you took with your father when you were 19 to get the salt?
Yes.
And can you describe that journey and what it was
Kande
like?
kande doya ta shoge chikten nima kazu gora ani chi gorgyane debe khala khade sa chi yora da nima kazu gorgya
ta ti pani shang ta jianga ji go shang jianga ji ta bada ku she de da shang jianga de go ti ta kande chi go sena shogani chaji tu ni ta go gi romba zamba ba zamba se khala se che ni tin ya la kha ka ni go ta tenza ori ni la mo ji ni mo ji khala se che ni mi ku le ni ngun le de chen yo mo go ni go ta ko mo chu de hiwa chen po se ta tin so fu che tin so so tu khala se ka che ya ya ri la ye kyap che lu ba ya ina tu ga ina nga ro ko mo te ji kyap te ma ko sin ni ga sa te yan ta sho de da 진짜 chen mi 진짜 chen ta ta ji sol ba nga de sol ba kan se 파자 부돈 티리다 간제 미사들 부자는 맨 때는 그 뒤도 도사리 파자 부돈 내가 티chen 대로 따지라 거기 장례 대역하는 놈이 뒤가 깔래 가고도 뒤로에 뒤단데 송야 보면서 송야 깜데 야고 용을 깜데 두자 용 간제 로자 시장면 파자 부긴 원나니 미사 또 잡아 내가 티chen 대주 가지고 말 삼아 여긴 이제 다 매개지는 이제 농비 끼네겠다 대수 끼네 강가 있는데 나 우리 게임 끼네 요거 주니 되면요 뭐 고민상 자 요거 주 되고 그러고 먼저 때 차트 개디 진짜 chen 되고 있다.
Yeah, when I went to trace with my family, father, it took 15 days to go to the bartered Kuji, Rwanda.
Bazaku. Bazaku.
It's the area where they go to the area to the trade with the Bazaku. It takes 15 days to reach over there. So every day morning early in the morning we have to go. Before going we have to have heavy food like black tea and sampa, and in the noon we cannot stop and stay. We have continued to go until the sunset, like 4 o'clock or something, 5 o'clock like that. Till that we cannot stop and we have to continue walking. When it's reached somewhere which area it is located safely and pure, so we have to stop there and let the animals go and have this one grass and this one. To the animals, they have to leave the animals. Along with them, they have taken yaks or whatever the animals to load it on this.
Oh, to load it.
Loaded the animals.
I see.
They have taken with them. They have to live freely and for the grass and that. If the areas are not sufficient of like a grass and this, they have to take it back and just keep nearby.
How many people went with you on this journey?
The Satong Jagata Palik Choran Judikan did in the Ropa Kazus.
Ropa Kazu mini.
So the so.
Yeah, that my young young is a hendashi. That if a panja can shoot with that.
Mata, the Sonda Pala Sonjadora. Did you go to Ropa Paling and the Palache, Palakurache, Shabasu?
Shimbata Mizaji or Yamizaji miss you.
We have my father, myself, and another was nearby. 3 people went together.
3 people.
And Kangi Khatyaso.
Kangas and Namjara Kanta Chang Terrakan Chess me Lumbalay at Indeki Beji, Ka Nitin, Ninga Tayo Kanga Karsanji. The Kuma, the 2 months and Jignation Grace, or that you can't tell the young to your mother. Song Jasaru.
Mayore.
Takabi Kalung the Majun, you see the Wayango, Mikamu, Kanim, the Meshes, Kanim, and good about it, taking you got there to you. She can't you my cocoa so somewhat up. You so many so
trade. I get some fear, like sometimes across we come, like theft will come and scare them. It used to be had like that. So in sometimes there is a theft like that. I was quite scared of this one, and nothing scared was doing the rest and going for a trade.
Bandits.
The bandits.
So, can you describe a time when this happened? I mean, did this happen to you, or was
no,
this
it's
just
not happened. It used to happen sometimes, but it doesn't happen to him.
Not
He was quite scared. Sometimes
scared of the bandits.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Were you armed? Did you have weapons?
And the song Jadura. Song Jadikana Lakolakja Memda that they can do that.
Ninja Kim, yes, you are my kicking, Kinny, but she's to what you look at it like I you want to see him, you are married, and you are just chung see you are married, Mexican, you are married. Tinja and Chung are married. You want to go on a tongue around the cannon, she wants a young take it while I shoot it. Somebody tinja and when you know Dargan Yak and go with it, Tinja and Chung you are married. 다 년가서 똑같이 제대로 그러와. 내가 중요함. 마지니 지당은 남별 휴 가르치는 총선생 안도 다 벽이 살때 반지 진짜 있어야 자꾸 막다 롱 산담 가와이나 딜라테 디니에 대 밥에 구체는 되니 자외 다티션 되어 주로 다 저때 가지라 잠바 컴피티션 되어 런 데서 잠바তে 쇼여 되나 제 밥에 딱 바지티 컴피티는 년남다 종가때 야자 먹수 때는 다 나도 자마가 샤 진저기 다 가져 양 직소서 사질래 가져 민고라 솔레스기 다디 마르타티 기전 양손 잘도 올 내가 티션 되고 다 간데 샤야잖아요 말이
I mean nothing to carry the weapons that because we normally never had any something to happen fighting and that so we have the habitation was that we used to carry weapon and knife and this was that was not usually used so we don't use it and it was heard that such incident was occurred like theft or this one but never happened till never saw or never heard that this was happened and that. And this trading business was our family was trading was the main sources. If business sometimes goes down, sometimes goes up, but it should be continuous. Otherwise, the family of the will be resource will go down and will be more. We may come to the poor family and something like that.
Do you remember seeing anything particularly special on that journey? That's something you saw that stood out for you? Something that you saw that was special, that was unusual, and that you remember particularly?
That better song like that got song la do it. And it mix it tongue that song la do it. Shen lumbal do or did you mix it? That's also lumbal make a shema mix a tongue shower the decay and the tongues there.
That you got a shenta can tend to the child to the Yamani can't mirror. 다지 미때 망로다 semje 간자 롱바 끼로 간자 진짜 잔이다 잠인다 양도 통도 고랭가니 롱바 끼고 자유 끼고 다 semje 몸이 똑바져 약부 진짜 뒤다 살년에 되는 로데로 진짜 야랭가는 이제 다 상마때 좀 더기면 돼 상마미 고래게는 교 진짜 직통은 현단 니벨라면 되지 군자대 두고 진짜 시세 가서 별로 요 말어 왔다 메디 같이 통해 가면
yeah being in Tibet while crossing for the trade we used to find only the environment conditions like good and bad like some used to have a good environment like a forest or whatever grass and that some environment was quite uncomfortable this one not like as the usual now like see at in somewhere like with the machines or any buildings there is no land over there only different was the different types of animals or something how much animals were there or environment difference like which we can take the sheep and goats and make it over there.
What kind of animals did you see?
The semje mixe kaya ta lumba shambal do dikane mandawa ke semje dike tongso hai.
Semje kata panji 그 lumba sikpata mendu ingiri samde 장시에 되어래. 되는 과 나, 되니 다 정부리 거예지. 그 두고서요. 아스긴 진짜 semje 면 예 장전 배지 이과 전부다 다다는데 진짜 상관은 통해요. 요 말이 버디 가는 소리 버천데 힘감세 lumba tenda sama
장체 나체 ene
되는 과 세체.
과
과예. 되니
저 통냐.
저 통.
저 전체바
되니 다 아당 되니 직 다중화시는 체제단서 정부대 되어요. 그래서 좀 다 롱지부 통만 이게 참만 라 롱지부 통만 이게 심지 간도 사카를 손나 통 예lumba 되는 다 참만 개요.
Yeah, I saw it like at Tibetan wild yaks, Tibetan gazelles, blue sheep, and all this when we passing through it, some which is different. Even also I saw that wild goats and all this, which was very rare to be seen.
Very rare to see wild goats.
Oh, goats were like that.
When you made camp in the evening, and after you cooked your dinner. What did you do before you went to sleep?
다 공가 아니 마다 주도 사롭선 다 견도야 사와 되기로와 사와 되기로다 간다 이마 공다 시리는 semjel로 땅 뒤치기로와 공다 칼라 믹스에게 칼라 되게 돼 스타트 같이
다 가라간 그 니마지 가도 민들인가 이제 대 바빠졌 되는 서리는가 다 마찬가지 담바를 피하는 다시 패시만요 니만년 그걸로 샤르와 샤마르 코나 비슷한 데 때문에 공물은 말세 히야세 기부땅 달렵사는 이게 다야 니모지 등자 딱 배자게 바로 버시 힘 우리 니모지 칼라티 살롱 코나면 야 되는 좀 약좀 나보 대대시에면 완전히 그거 오는지 그기르면 힐립산은 딱 뺏기보세 다 자신부 동시에 등산 잘하고 말로니 과말 거로 말고리 샤말 꾸지서 기변 대결진.
Yeah, when we reach the evening, because we are at the noon, we have no time to eat a lunch or something like that. So when we reach that, we have good tea. Especially, there is no need, during that period, there is no need of milk for that Tibetan teas. Only butter was used. With the most of butter was used. There is a very special tea during that time. And sometimes we used to have a rice also. And mostly used was the tampa and butter and the meat almost as the usual food to us. This was used.
And what did you talk about? Did your father used to tell you stories?
That in the song Jagado the name, Papa Palden and Perwa. And Palden mistake a doom in the case, the look in the case, share the genuine.
That in there, Ruby looks in it, Natam does it, magic in Dutch one season. Then that the mob she's on other hand, that you go to the Marawa, the Lord to the same jet to tell him, sing Market Magic, Lord in the mob could shake the
Dad used to say, was not taking much interest. Dad used to share us that the past and how we lived, past huge, what the famous people used to do, and all these types. We used to share it to the youngsters. But being a young, I was not so
really
much
paying
cared.
attention.
I never cared much on that.
Do you remember any particular story your father told you?
The Palden Chonphel look in the Shenyong Ra. Shake it and mix the rest and make a part thing that and that.
Then the tongue looked at it, shows it, shares it, and the junk that did you come, Lord Junju, Donazu Majar. She looked you call a shave, chicken, but Judge Yama said in the mouth shade, and the radiation to meet and the hair jamming, Tinny, Lawrence in Kangater, and just as the living shares me. In another Patrick, Lumpiji child of the Tiotan and Yama Tindash was saying, she rubs the sea, that she too.
Yeah, Dad used to share us how we settled over here. And how the environment was, how big people was there. He used to try to share as much as past times. But being a young man, ignored everything and cannot express any special as present.
Okay. So, was there somebody in your family who liked to sing? Was there a singer in your family?
Father was very happy to sing and that.
So did you learn the songs from your father that you know?
But then make the chance go my tang your head, coconut, quality can run one him, things on the lobs on cake and I teach us in the woman. Coconut tang one hair trying me, give him a message on coming some day, share me one. Some shade or one tang, coconut that needed that. Cocaine around by music, what things on the young, there's drum the shout what I should give him a quantity to go get music, Michelle music, there's a dancing, quantity, campo, and shade, that tonacity, the carriage in one. Cocanidam, Bechang Majanda Kelly, that tonacity capacity. She will move on today.
Yeah, the song, yeah, Dad used to sing normally, sing, and we no need to learn from it. Because automatic daily singing was the alternative practice to us. So there is no now like a facility over there and it's other to have a something special or any teaching or anything. We used to learn it from it and enjoy it from it, and so.
So can you describe the different kinds of occasions where there's different kinds of situations where people would sing?
Different
situations that people would sing, different occasions, different situations.
Papa like that to Pelana and chick she diamond tire Pedana Chugton Lama Tobana and a chick Shinga Shinga Tower Kalana. Then the diamond shade in the Tanga look your
that Tambul Karishes in that the number soon Lamale to me here. Didn't he have it well? He had that even the society that didn't chance that Jagayona, keep it down another delay. Chang doing chat to keep us and hair cork here and that looks so that they chase you. Which you would send you tongues in the days ago. I think them a chance, them a shades a lot. Some are short on the short of the yellow, but shorty, that Java in number the changing my hapome, Java syndrome, and I Shondon Shomoti, Madame on the Java to meet it, couldn't make us a truth because they are shades. That was a car, like I said, here no tongue, that sickle.
Yeah, we used to sing lots of variety types of sing, like praising the monks during the wedding and special party ceremony, farming, and especially milking the animals. And there is a various types of things we used to sing.
Do you have a favorite song?
But can I give me say shake up the tissue? Then you shake the cowboy inside.
Share the number that the lotion that they have to shake with a tongue mirror. He shared the coach, share color, Mika Chixim, but the rang shares on your minute to go. She was in it, the coach, Hagomer, never women, Hagomer. Marie did Lumba share a pay up in the
Yeah, I feel that all my songs are very beautiful and very interesting, but I don't know that other people love or not because all my sing words are, I can understand my words, what I'm singing. So I can understand and I feel it's good, but I don't know other people love it or not.
We would very, very much like to hear you singing some songs. Perhaps we could start with a milking song. Could we hear a milking song?
Di tu lo ta tu lo se ti di ta ko jo ro bu ji mi ngo phe che lu lo ma se chung ta quy jo bu ju yi so jo le da lai hiu ni bu yo ngo ne nam ja lo
Any yang test time there tando.
di tu lo ta tu lo ka ma che si ra kha bu ro ma che bằng se mi ta se sa ti ti e po shin ba ta na wa ji po chu na ja
Ta ti la ne khalo ngor.
yo ri tat bang da se ne bang da sa ti ma ti kyo bang se te tu na ji po shu chu ta ma ji ta na ma ti ngang zo kun jo shi ba punya le pe mi ji ha le ri
This word means that you are eating very happily and in the grass and in our ground, and whatever you are now taking from you is the butter use will be offered to the Lord, to the gods, and this was the price that you are very wonderful and prizing the animals while milking that food.
Sik mangbo yo ko dam long ro da da ma da ro jen da lo chu ji le sa re jen min ko lan shi ora me da pe she ni ta ni yo me
Pe de sha ko she pa ya ko yes.
Pe ya do. And could you sing us another song that was used on another occasion?
da ji chu ge jen dang ai ne
Praising this one monks.
Praising the Lama.
chu ge ji dang ai ne ro chu ge ji dang ka je pe ji de ba 우리 그 때마다 다 투어 말달 탈라라 투발라 메도 자와라 덴지 자조 오세지 땅둘라 슈예 유지 땅둘라 슈예 장가라야라 푸니 아말레 모잔둘라 Sun du ke la la ke ne rang yu la te ne lo to ko lo ta ge ta ya po yo
ya po ti ta de
man zo pyo kang ji te ma ta tu yo ma re den da su mo ge mi ba le tu yo ma re ha wa jin de ko le ma san je chum de ni pe pyo kang ji ki tun ja de ko sha ya tin ja ji san je chi san ni ga mi lo yo ma ta ni ya ko ra mo ne yo ma 진짜 지요아리 디 탄트 요말 코라 자 나고 뚝 차는 가들에 다 되지 코코는 다고 동료 잡혀고 지기로 와 달려가 도는 거지 버리 이제 양아 매로 대리면 지금 간도 다 벽한테 때만 탈트 요말 간도 이마지 저때는 이 자리는 깨달아 도지다
This is the song that praising His Holiness and the Buddhist religions that you have guided us, and we don't feel that any problem will create that because of your blessing and this all that.
Shempa?
And Shempa she.
Shempa tang.
Shangsa Korkada, Singa.
Tangina.
Harvest song.
A Singa Tower,
No,
Singa.
Ta Singa tang tin. Chi ne rang yu chi cho mi yu ta le la gu song la. Ha le la ke vi la mi yu mi ji shu sa la mi do mi ji shu sa la mi do tang kibo te rang kibo yes ta ina rang yu ta chor sa ro ta rang le ki ta rang ki ta te mi yu le la ko jan kibo mi du shu sa mi du sa le la ko mi kibo mi du shu sa mi ko mi yu ti kibo mi du la bia pa na yo me she ka tang ya ro di bu ko le ki ke je me te ya zum xiang a de sui zhou ma
Yeah.
nghe tin đây xe tôi mới xem mà để uống
Praising that our farming was very beautiful, and because of that we live happily, and praising the farming that
Praising the farming.
farms that what we have collected.
Oh, he's just moving the mic. Okay. Could we hear a love song?
And Pumula Gawu than she tanga put the Pumul Gawu tanga the rock. She go tap at the Gawu and the tanga the Pumul Gawu tanga the rock. They are not better that you should catch Mura. There's no going catch Mura. Among pictures, oh, that Pupumushan and took the president was a Hakwa catch Mura.
That is qua chơi nó chạy xong mình là cái thứ chạy chạy rồi thứ chạy
She tanga.
cái này ngã là tung tung anh chơi là tung tung ở tung tung nhiều tung qua chạy nhiều ngã đi lúc mà tung qua cao ta rồi ta chỉ phán chế lúc mà phán chế ta rồi rồi tung qua chạy nhiều quá sẽ ta chỉ chơi ngã là xem bao sao ngã đi chơi là cao sao ở tung tung nhiều đấy tung qua chạy nhiều
She took by Gang Tanga.
cái này ngã là cả chung ngã đi chơi là cả chung orang la kar kala ni wo kaya la cha chi la nyoko kaya cha chi nyoko.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
This was that we love each other. So to be a continuous love each other, we should share that remembrance like a white balls was like women used to wear bracelets that the white balls used to share each other, giving that as for a remembrance or
white bracelets for remembrance. Beautiful, beautiful. Was there a song that was sung when you were just out with the animals in the grasslands? What kind of songs would you sing then?
That's semjer result kid ora. That's semjer yam do dia she tang ya do yore.
Semjer yam do do ta namja le cheze tang do kamlu tinja tang do tinja ringa tang ga siu de show se tang ga siu.
Pa la ki chig de sing ye.
Tang e re ni ngam siu ta namja le shuya ko nga chi sham ka she te sang de na ngam chen so sa de. Ta to ho gu sto ko ko she na zigu tuni mi gu tang ga lo chembli. Ta lo ma gu yu sa ro. Thì chúng ta theo là chế của tộc xưa là sinh
Kame.
Chế chính là gì tăng lại ta rồi
Tăng ta xin semjer yam do dengan.
tăng ấy thì chế chỉ là chế của tên thôn nào mà chế rồi
Not remembering much.
Not remembering this kind of song. And do you know any songs by the 6th Dalai Lama?
Yarum boje ko to thupe kap ke bik se to nga de she de ke singi ve. No much.
Takuto khala yin ngala sheme.
Don't know what
Sheme she.
Chik tang da. Relation came out.
What's that famous song? Pematang.
Pematang said. We have lots of songs. We'll try next time. Right. Yarum ji topa song. Topa.
Pematang shingirbe.
Pematang.
Pematang di dating nghe chú này sheme.
Pematang
thang của gì? Thang này thời tuổi.
He'll remind later. We'll ask him.
Okay, Chila, we can.
No, you don't pressure so much. You'll forget everything.
We can also do this later.
No, later, you
Yeah,
have something.
yeah.
Kemar Pala Shashan did it. Temper Chuna to Kian Tiga teacher. It's Shamar Doshana.
Yeah, and if he can think of more categories, and then later, even another day, maybe we can do some more. We can record some more. Yeah. So. Yeah. I wanted to ask, there was something that you talked about, that there was a tradition in your village of not allowing women, monks and yaks into the village after noontime in the summer. We're very interested to know more about this.
Yerkala ane tapetana semje che keme che da dire ko ginduba dire nyumu jal thonsam na yongchok mar se dire yora
re ta ganti lumba ti tinderi ta singa tabir wal yerke ni bori singa tap channa kuisho tang kime kenda longcho ya ta ti sumda ni yongchok ni ma chega nerida
아 같이 singa tap sa ni mo de
tap channe ta 주야 배 가르쳐 사는 뜻은 용식 말이야. 그 용해줘 준대 간서 세라단 거 요는.
라.
그 간대 대신에 세라식 다 남님은 차와 우리 도도선 겨우도와. 다디 배 세라식 네가 서 쉬우래.
아 딜레는 어디 세라리 걸로.
세라립선은 또 보래 초라단 살이. 디 네가 서 쉬우자 우리.
Yeah, we don't allow any eastward during the summer while crops are grown. Crops are grown in a farm. We don't allow any monk or any animals and any women after the afternoon, because we feel that when they come, there's snow hail comes in that village and destroy every crops. It was happened frequently, and so we don't allow them to come inside the village after the afternoon.
So, are you talking about women, monks and yaks from other villages, or would you also not allow women, monks and yaks for your own village to come and
lumba shaman mi lawar ma so mit lawa mara
직발이 lumba 강이 미난다 다티 간데스나 니모 수주 중리 투비딩에 렐렐 쇼요 수주 중리 결로 있는 미 lumba 강이 미 관에서 농 쇼요
there is the not that
다디링으로 남자라 디링이나 먹고 있는 거는 먹고 이렇게 있다 좀 당고 미산다면서 봐 뒤에서 그런 대쇼 좀 지금 맞기는 다 용쇼요 다 거리 팀 전에 미 귀매게 남을 농농 말 되는 예와 보고리 뒤면은 미 귀셔가 롱바 예요 강이 미 하고가 검사는 거 오늘 말이 님의 시간 거 대장문이 산다더니
there is a border that we should not cross that border. If it's the own village person or other also, we are not allowed. Most of people knows that we should not allow. There is the border. They'll stay before if it is past noon. They'll stay over there and stay. Next morning they come, enter the village. Even person who, example, who unknown and try to cross the border, and you have to pay severe punishment from them.
Severe punishment.
Okay. 콜로가 쿠르가 다디 베티 딱 저런 게임니 시자니게는 로디 카트 불고 미스 쿠르고 말아 다디 지금 남이 그 소라 있는 로디 다 메디스에서 메땅서 세라생 때문에 까먹어 빠지고 두다 따여와 그 뿌려 빠지고
근데 종용요래
진짜 나만 일단 밀렘네 종이되면 세라생 거 용요 따고
맨다 빼다는 다지 선담도 게스나 아니 겐디바다 되는 섬제들 주스나 에지게 세라 파브르스 디치네 때 종내 가스거든 로
그냥만 중으로 와 마시간 미 진짜 종내 때문에 디셔를 생각을 해야 세라 용요 양값에서 땅 오고
이 마요나게 세라 중거라
다 파송직 가면이다 지금 배 파송직 뜨고도 와 당보라는 힘가 따위 님들 파송만 되나 우리 누리는 게임코랑 롱바고 대지야 송가 땅을 놓고 뒤다 별할래 옆에 자니 별로들 게 맞을 때 마당으로 실어시 야고스 야 송가 손주 땅을 인간 땅으로 다 미배 요도 송제 다 등나 우리 게임코리 게임지기네 게임 뿌려 송제 소제는 기보 다차 동제 배탈조 소제 효시고 다 조당고 대래도 와 다디는 님아 책이 인간 되나 소 가는 다 양고는 따당 밑에 좋아 있는 양도 쇼베티 내 주고는 다 가능하면 다 도도 간스는 고 세라를 되네 돈도 배 토바당으로 티제니 내 드셔고 차이 다 베지 이렇게 형선이 효지도 와 코르네티 신데디 파자 부던 다 베고 미도만 그게 될 때디 콜라 냐 그거요 말은 같이 우미적으로 운한다 베 로가는 운게 요 말이 본다
It was followed very long back, and used to follow it very strictly. And man and the horse can cross inside, not a monk and a woman and any other animals. Horse and man can be allowed anytime, enter it. And sometimes also the crops used to spoil by this one hailing of the snows. So we feel that because of the protector or any area was protectors or any, this one has not feel very satisfied or with feel very bad, means he was not in good mood or whatever. So we used to make a special ceremony to offering to the gods that the field should not be face problem or spoil the field year of that. That when we field the crops, there are special programs we used to help.
What punishment would people receive if they cross this boundary during this time?
Kisi magic that nangye nor ne ra the sandam kin juwa chona ta chik semje da ya ma ke me ta ko kangi khari chepa khari kya nyewa khari
ta ko itsan nge ti shwen zan ngu yo mar ko 누가 컸다 미자 거의 시간에 용요 맞고 다 거기 집에 친구 그걸 심부 쇼르다 등산 난다 맞다 등산에 놓고 밑에 가지네 용구로 와 담이 알아지는 양고 대 용거 시 웅투기요 말이 용구 보나 말 진짜 맞춰서 일단 렘 하소야 등에만 진짜 중앙 현장 노리긴 했습니다.
Due to the very strict rules and regulation, no one dares to enter it or no one dared to break this law. It was so, and no one has happened and never heard it also.
So, okay, so everybody in the surrounding villages, everybody knew about this rule.
The Chonphel yen da mitu ta the pedana tim dinejos but pechiga hakuwa
하고 다고별 미도만 부게제리 치면 고지 미도 지니다 진짜 말과 집에 파사 부동 구수해 하다 이건 요요 막
It was long many generations this one followed, so probably everyone knows and that this what should be followed.
다디 뒤를 남자 yar가 더 시도 지게제리면 이게 뒤네 그런 근본이니까 안다 미 갈라 용나고 니뭐 체 용나고 그런 걸 구기는 뒤는 같다니 요만 용요만
With a period of only 4 months was used, this restriction was there, only during the farming period.
And was this rule enforced just in your village or in all of the villages around?
That and the tim di any pala kran ke Chonphel chikpu jala ra ya themba din ra admi ya din ra luksu yor hai mane.
다 반시티 신발 당한 종가 세는 있다니요 말 다디 들으면 다른 하려는 데 간데 띵아 시에 주면
We have no knowledge of others except our.
대판이 장당은 그 신가면 강우 말와 마시지 그때 민고는 남도세는 남도 쉬어야지 로피다 니마 시간 끼면 이제 남들다 되고 있어요 인사를 달라디 오늘 담보기 견도 진짜다 견도 로키 시험도 드레시도와 지 통바지는데 니마 시간 끼면 오늘 때 그냥 땅땅 우리 남들다 때 되고 있어요 그 님제는 뭐이 뒤때 지금 막아다 샤샤고 있어요 당한테 뒤 가는데는 민고라면 남도세는 낙불이 뒤에 까요세요 인사를 다디 진짜 그 침시티 때 뒤셔는 거 되게 그냥 그게 오고요 이메로
낙동래
낙도스 그 낙부지 두두 까이니지 까대지 거기 민건 티클 되고
because we said that this was for you used or followed by even other village, like example at afternoon if a woman come and cross the other village, they feel also this was used very badly, that afternoon and women and animals, and they are called something means downward, they were treated little badly or something. It called naktong, means black, something like that.
If they came in afternoon time,
they feel very.
In general, this was a general kind of idea.
They feel bad. So that feel these bad signs like that.
Bad sign. Yaks
and women that which they are called all a blackish that.
No problem with Dri?
No. Did that to kai kangi yamara.
La.
Did that didn't you know?
Dri yaks that no.
Except the horse.
Except the
horse. All are not allowed to.
다 룩을 줘요, 야지.
Sheep are not.
Sheep
and horse are not.
Sheep and horse no problem. But Dri, yak, dog.
Zopural kange ra.
다 되죠.
Di yak zopural kange ra.
오 뒤지 봤다.
Yeah, they have.
다 따라요. 근데 이제 시에서면서 룰러요. 말이 게 좋아요. 하고.
There you, I don't have any details to what why it is so.
Nuns? No.
Ani
다 아니래요. 말 동시고 말이.
Yungchomara not allowed.
That is
Monks are not allowed.
랑 롱비 미지 드리는
Guinea by Yungchomarsan color.
다티 간장이 된다 하시요.
I don't know.
나쁘리지
Monks are not allowed. I
tin te 나쁘리지도 그러면 막 간 조정 간장이 하고 말이야. 조당에 진짜 시기요. 말이 고 지금 신띠 잔 용치고 말이. 고디 티셔는 로티를 간 세라 땅에 이
if they come, there is a sign of that snow hailing and this and what occurred.
How long did it take to get to the nearest village from your village?
Palakaran ke thonsab jora. Thonsab dene sheba thonsab ta nya jora. Ti tharing no sere.
다 니마 숨도 사제. 다 간자 종가 조나 니마 숨에 땅가세 조나 니마 숨. 지도 기사.
If you go to Tanga or Tonga nearby, it takes 3 days to reach there. But Kumbha Yandra Tagin
공부했네.
by walking.
By what?
공부했지 야 대신 다 도로.
By walking and taking the yaks with them.
So I'm still a little bit curious about this law. So how was it enforced? I mean, were there people posted around the border of the village? Or was it just assumed that nobody was going to?
That better not Tim did the Ganan. Sometimes the me cook there, I can't there.
말이요.
And can't talk what could be.
다시 고라니 백년만 창제 조조는 가지고 걸 미용게 고라요. 다시 내 내가 세번 켜니요. 다시 다 미제 두는 제 저도 처음에 말도 미 주면 되는 지가 그려 요만 간자 인데 다다나 이베 티르세 까는 이제 요만 나도 담바 인생 농바 거리 기타가 담바 인생 두촌 미용니 미티레 샤바깔 미티티 마치 세다니 용걸 내 땅아 천선 고고라 용만 디몽에만 진짜 넣으면
There was no any people guarded or anything. It was usually known that everyone that this villagers have to.
지땅 고라서는 남자를 집에 이런가 진짜 민족 망보지 말고 농바 쿠쿠 다시 돼요.
It was located in some district, means something separate area. There not be no less people cross or come in this village or come like that.
Where was the boundary?
Sadam khande khande chigi tapena kyundu thonsab dina re se.
산삼 찍고서는 딱 어린
Thongba khatsu jadina kyundu thonsab dina.
대순이요.
Tezu san thongba pedana.
나 대지 숨바다 gem지시 땅에서 대순이래요. 고 죽주 고랑을 탐바 죽주도 매고. 진짜 이때인데 시험에다 양디.
Approximately it might be 60 to 50 families.
많은 결주도 있기래. 나고 때리서 양디.
Approximately, not sure very how much, but it was like two nearby village. There is two, one nearby and nearby. This all means this all one village that we used to call, and there will be 50 to 60 families.
So, but if I was a woman in your village and I went sort of wandering off one day to do something, and then I came back afternoon, then would I face a problem then?
Yeah, sure. You have with it afternoon. There is the border. You should not cross. You have to stay.
Yeah, ask him.
Kize rata nga pedan keme thongba thongsep pala kita pala keme me chaswa pala keme tring thongba shiba chima chata thongsep shiba chima chaswa ta tring en gonda la law na ningu cha law na ko ni ko kang
대본은 대본은 배상이 쇼가 내가 그런 사람 당신 옮기 농바 대자면 농쇼 말랑 미 농쇼요 말 진짜 슬라서 말다 남자 당가서 좋은다 희제 때서 와 대로 누가 지금 야 대 이메지 오고요 나 꼬랑 빼 니마 치가 걸려가 지자면지 니마 치잡자는 거 먹으면 다랑 농부 친다랑 그거 사거든 니나 미 해마지나 다 반지지 망고 죽선데 배 대소 꼬랑 미자 두자 뒤자 니마 치가 두발 기만 어디 미 쇼가 계랑 말 가지는 니마 치가 동라 가지는 야 대고는 미 오셔서 신디 꼬랑 오야 일단 충분히 용요 근데 된다
Yes, as our family knows every the rules and regulations, so I should prepare that before the noon I should reach. Otherwise I should not come.
Yes, but I'm saying that if I did do it, even though I knew I shouldn't, but if there's nobody enforcing this rule, if there's nobody watching, then how do you know?
Ta pedanara ane ngai keme thingba chaswa ta kange training thokja ko je juwa chas mi tungen ni yomar khanis hakure tadi
디디가 딱 우리 친구 쓰는데 현대 미나 하고 말랑 농기 미나고 하고 그러고 현대 때도 대서 예미 감 하고 있다 정가
because the rules was followed by the long back and no one dared to
니마 체가니 가제라는 아주 농가 칼룽세를 칼룽산 미 말도 걸 디캡다 샤 되고 다지 빼고는 자 되어로 당겨
normally informed always each other like that it was normally words are shared by the whole villages and so this was followed very strictly and very that no one dares to do it like that.
Tapi lumba shemata chini miji yakte kenda ta kimenta mangbo chikta duwa ta tinja duksani tene be mayon tene nima cheka tu ke mayon sene tene laga do duwa she dimendi ki zani ko longa ko yo mari
Example, if suppose
dawa shito chen mi yo mari
example for within that 4-month period during the farming period, if suppose a group of the unknown villagers try to cross it, they inform them, go and inform them you are not allowed to cross it after the noon. So you have to stay here. Next early in the morning you can come. This was informed.
So it seems like the biggest problem with the harvest and the crops was it was hail. It seemed like hail was a very serious issue.
The shimbal kanga cheshute tada kanga dir sera roa.
re kanga che sera
Shimba kanga ke yamar chi ta
chuni yo
cha chun
ni
kanga.
ni ba lam sen ta chu tong nam ja te kanga sa chu le lega che ni kanga che chi ma ko ta ko chamo lang ne dang wo le chu xiang ge yo ma ko thong ba mang ba dang wo wa ko long wa chen dang wo le xiang yo ma ko
Chu khane tang wona.
chu yu la kun dang ta de
Chu khone wona.
chu nong ba ko bu chu yo la chu mo nya ba chu mo shu wa chu ni di be di cho xin ni ji bo ma cho wang bo ni ye ni dang ye ni dang de dang de mo chen ni su ni su de dang wo ni mo da ni ma thau
Chu kanga tigo mara.
chu di chu ko kanga che da dang ye di be nga sa sa ni phi chen ko le ga jo wan sa jo yan ji ko long ha jo le jo ba di kanga yo da se ra ji bu kang she kang kang yo ni wa la mo se sa to tung ko la yo ma lu ni pe ko lu ji lu ba ko lu ji chu pe ding ko den lu ko le chen na ko sa chu be ma kap chu se ten
Yeah, for farming only snow helling was the main problem, and water was lots of surrounded rivers that there we can use it, and only this was done very early in the morning. So just allotting the farm to come the waters was allowed to cross the field, and then was used by turn families.
You mentioned a special ceremony that you did to protect the crops from bad weather. Can you describe that ceremony?
Tapera shingala and tondo tawakala and chitati ke parche mayun san mixe ki tachi tachuku suma da dindela chike soga din tangro
so nge
ta khande chik tangere pedana chik tigal pombo yona tangere lama yona tangere khande kharchi
ta di nang la ye te na nge si zo se ra ji ka nge jo ri ko de da chana se de ni ya mizan ji ko na ko pha da putong re do ko ko nga shu chu sa ro ko de da u se ji ja ro di mizan ni be chik ta nang di ko ni ser kem ba re ko ji me se nge re de ba nga ba shu tin je ko ba ya pyo ko ta ko pyo se tin ngang di ki nung mi pura zom che
ko khawani gore
chana se de ni
chana
o ta ku ji be ka se de ni ki ta ni ko ta ra zap se chi so ta ta jo ri ku ji ju kwa re ta ko la nga ta pyo ko ta ba de ma ro mi tiếng là dùng mì đấy, trung điều đi là đồ đi suy là quy chỉ tính nhục sự phải chọn cái này là coi hai trăm viên này, có tên nhung mà đi, có năm kinh nặng chứ chưa đủ quá, thay ra thùng chỉ về tôi có phi năng còn là đủ đi, thế nên các cái gì còn, sẽ tiếng cái tiếng xe xong đang bu, bằng cái chuyện năm sự thì hay là ya chín chỗ tăng cô khu, thế nên bây giờ là chín chỗ tăng đấy, là thứ giờ làm này sẽ chín chỗ tăng những cái chi phí tăng sẽ này, tại vì thành số có cái gì cũng tự nhiên phải lo này, phải cái cái mà thôi, tại là xong rồi chấp nhận mới xé mẹ rồi. Thế sen tiêu, tiếng Anh thì sang bao nhiêu rồi, còn nhà khoa này về, tao phun thì đến sẽ là dùng tay nhà cái sao sẽ về mission là chỉ có khu có dùng nó có đủ đấy.
Yeah, normally we used to have a prayer a ceremony to the harvest to be very good, and used to have a ceremony and all together sit together, and after that they have a gathering, sharing the foods and drinks and all that. If something you feel that the crop may be spoiled by the hails, they used to call the tantric expert, like ngagpa.
Ngagpa.
Yeah, they used to call. He's the main person who protect the hails in the farm area, and he performs the special ceremony, prayers, and he brings one special. It's carved wooden ladder. He take it that and he make a special tantric to that wooden carved one
carved
wooden. For that he make a special tantric to that wood and keep it on that villages. So that when they suppose they might occur something else snowfall, they used to just show to the sky. The hails go away. And this was used frequently, and This wooden was guided by the rotation system.
Did the ngagpa make the carving himself?
No, it was almost used to.
It was already made.
Already made,
and he just did it a certain blessing and prayers
blessing
over
and
it.
blessing and.
What was the carving of?
Tanda petan singji and ngagam and ngagam and ngadu namla ten chaka lajwa. The correct is the singji culture.
Singji that government is the country treat and the Kuku Tinja 한번 타고 집에 딱 죽고 구시도할 진짜 이제 국가지 진짜 민거 라다
treat singre.
싱이 섭다고 지났어요. 때고라 궁아 좀 딱냐면 개뼈로 와디 쇼지.
It was a long back this one made.
And
he was used only for that only. And he comes and gives something specially or any this ceremony praise to this one and then he's go out.
And what was the carving of? What was the image on the carving? Was it words? Was it a picture? What was it? Was it a person?
Shing di roa.
Really,
Shing di la and we take the treat the cut to the.
딱고 ngai 티샷.
La.
마 호리 이게 티샷.
It was written script that tantric script was written on that wooden.
Was it Sanskrit?
Tadi khal poig re to khare to.
거의 nga 호리.
Poig and Sanskrit at the marwa.
말에 nga 와라 거의 nga.
It was written in Tibetan.
Written in Tibetan, so it was a script
Yeah.
carved
그럼
into
이상
wood.
거랑 nga 쇼시는 데래도.
He is very expert in that
tantric.
tantric. He trust him a lot. He helped a lot.
This ngagpa.
Ngagpa.
So how big was this piece of wood?
Shing de kaga chelo do.
시무시 뉴스에 돌. 이제
Size-
섭다.
la.
락니 락니 신제.
That size of almost this one with carved, carved.
몸부 진짜.
It looked like a knife.
It looks like a knife.
Chida thongwa.
그래.
It looked like a knife.
Ah, it's like a wooden,
Not scarf, just bend it type.
slightly bent.
That you know,
난 이제 그거 이제
it's type. It's a bent type.
And then the writing is on the blade where the
The gal any t-shirt.
이게 잡을 다가 이게 제도.
It was written on that.
타고 샤쇼든 집에 그런 거 유래라 진지 샤를 거기 가면 땡 민도 되고.
It doesn't show to anyone like just folded with something
Cloth?
clothes and this and that.
다 야라요 거기 진저 땅 세운데 그런 데는 때 굴고랑 아 잡제더니 그때는 샤가 뒤뒤 통.
When everything ceremonies are complete, then he shows to us and then he do this one. So you have to witness all this.
So, this is really interesting. So, when the Nappa would show the carving to the sky, can you show us the action that he made?
That is not about petana the shin the gala any you get teach the child nam chokangra. Kande kande children ngapagi. Chidam from the chat yorwa.
아까 다 코랑 어디 있는 그 붙잡지 귀리 기전자신다 하베팅 하 두도 소리 이제 같은 데 시티네 동부는 봐도 우리 그럼 매디 있는 데까지 지디당 동인요 뭐 하고 하다고 나가 되게 말고 다나세들 막 삼숨사 말로 그러다 그냥 말로 그러면 그냥 말마도 간자 그 간다는 소리면 딱 깎아내지다 내가 하나 내야 되는 거 처음마다 런이 샤도 깎아 움직여서 뒤뒤 로랭가 소리게 쇼나냐 맞아 지 개시에 개다 전에 차비하고 다들 어제 해당 소금을 탑소금을 탑이야 용바 심만 구하고 기신나 건지 내가서 랑치기 열거든.
Yeah, it was when he doing that he comes out when he was there. He normally doesn't stay whole day. Only he stay for a few days, few hours, and he shows this. He just blow on the sky and he makes some tantrics.
Blow on
The sky just and show
like,
that wooden one.
Like this?
Like that.
And then he would like point it to the sky?
And he blow a horn, white one, what is that?
Conch.
So conch. He blow that conch and then show the wooden in the sky.
When he showed the wooden thing to the sky, can you show us what he did? Can you physically show us what he did?
He's turning the hairs other way.
But can you imagine that you're holding it?
He used to blow the horn and just show sight the way that should be hair should be taken away.
when he held the wooden thing, can you show us, did he do this? Like, what did he do? Can you show us? Because I can't see it in my mind, yeah? You can. Ah, okay. With this
just blowing and doing all the what is they used to you show to the right side, not to the left side.
To the right side?
Right side, not to the left. When you take the sticks, it always used for right direction, not from the left direction.
He moved it to the right.
To right direction.
From left to right, not like
left
this.
to right.
From left to right, always. So, did you ever see a time when there was hail and the Nappa actually stopped the hail with this ceremony? Stopping the hailing, there is a sign with the cloudy and everything comes like that. So before that snowfall, you have to stop it. After once the snowfall is already occurred, it's very hard to stop. So before there's a sign with cloudy and see everything lightning is going on, that signs that the hail is going to come. So ngagpa comes out and do whatever necessary things be done. If he is not there, then the person who is having that sticks, he used to show on the cloud and whatever is to be done. Somebody who actually had because he would leave it.
He'll leave it over there only for a period of 4 months during the farming area.
So somebody else could use it.
Yeah, rotation type, they have to look after that wooden one. Normally rain comes, but that's the out. But when hail is going to come, there's something separate signal should be there. So we feel that this is going to have a big hails coming out. So we try to stop them.
How did you know whether it was hail that was going to come or rain? I mean, when the clouds would get grey and clouds would gather, what was the sign that there was going to be a hailstorm rather than just rain?
The normal chawa gyawata and that setup progression condition is the color of the cloudy was totally different and sign was totally different.
Can you describe the difference?
Normal rain, that cloudy will be normal, just cloudy type, and nothing, just raining. When it's going to be hail, there will be a huge storm or the dark clouds or something like that. That sign is that there is no hailing.
Darker clouds.
Dark cloud and storm will come out.
And the wind would come
wind
up.
and storms will come out.
Wind would come up.
Yeah.
So would everybody in the village come out to watch this ceremony when it occurred?
야전에 진짜 살짝 두시는데 송가다닌가데 기보 당시 답을 합주어서 꾸지에 맞아서 다 쉬워 그냥 레도가 있냐고 이제 했더니 이 나도 간전이 뿌라체미 진저도 뿌라 당시 했더니 이 등기 동기다 체디냐라 부작 되는 샤그리다 되니마다 가 버저 당 말로 왔더니 그때 대거라다 저는 남인데 용도 따발라기 되게는 가고 그래서 그 되게 많고 그러냐 미고 나와
during the main first session of the prayer ceremonies that all the family come together flag was kept prayer flags was put it on the trees and gathering having good food together and this one when there's another venture going to be occurred by the snow hails that was normally not all come and witness or come and do something special. Those whose responsibility during that period that the knife or whatever it's is kept by the tantric.
So the person who was in charge of the knife.
He only have to do whatever necessary things to be done. Not the whole village comes and do. Only the starting ceremony, whole village to come together and do whatever and have a whole day gatherings over there.
Do you remember any of the prayers that you did with the village around the weather?
nam kaga chedula ane mixege ta kundige ta 당부 저거 지그와 다 수말로 소가 땅 지그와 믹스 소가 가르가 땅 그래
다 소가 초가디 간이 되는 집발이니까 다 새김다 이제 땅을 판체 이제 때고를 아빠 걸 나래 양 가지 시고 뒤에 하고 면서 다 유라 파는 래 배도 땅이 유라 굳이 송가 뒤땅 지고 땅에
Yes, it was that whatever necessary thing was done by the tantric man, ngagpa, and usually the areas there is a special protector. That was the man name was taken, and we praise him and ask him for a blessing, ask him for a protect or what. This was ceremony was done.
The protector of your village. Do you remember the name?
Yula dige ene tak palikos yula jorwa dig yula ge ming singi we
yula mi chöre siri jigla
la
jigla chöre siri
jigla chune
jigla chöre siri jig da 당사 원서 아마 쓰게 됐단 거리 아마 전두분 전지면 도 전두분 쓰게 다 당사 들어 아마 전두분 쓰게
아마 전두분
분숨 쓰게 됐단 거리
아마
당사 뒤들 비쳤단 거리
분 means brothers
분숨
Sen, can you describe what she looked like?
And suma de that yula jora yula ko khande je pedana kuba tik asli khande je na yula ko
tako parting 통만이 다디 미 소가 땅에 들어있지 이거 저 시원한 맛이 생강을 생강 거는 다 별에 있는 도침부터 들어가 이제 띠띠가 다저 뚝뚝 셔고 따고 백파서 부터 그런 차 때문에 차게 한번 줘 세트네 되죠.
There was no any photo or any scene that this is the protector. Normally it was made with stones, making stones on the hills like that. And it was so in that name used to call the name protector name and make him a prize and prizing him and protect us. It was used by the long back.
It's a female protector though, right? Ama.
마신이 빠진데 든 사람이 끌고 와. 당에 미기 숨이 지고 했다 의지를 빠져 의지를 해남이 고란서 다 미겐다 단진데 미야 진짜 아니 뒤줄 넣어서 진짜 지야 된데고 진짜 지와 숨만 쉐는 게 빠던 진짜 힘이 구하지도 우스기로 와 고미 지겨 있나 이거 별로 망자 지겨 있나 간지 왜 기타 간다고 된데고 되게 쉐네 다 고통만 유야 쉐는 because me
and never witnessed or never saw any protectors or what is it. But it might be any photo. Usually in Tibet, there is no photographer, and it used to write by the hand. It might be. I have never seen or never noticed that. And the suma the kemerwa, amaso the kem lamorwa, amo.
Then is a rule.
Then for more.
That the person to go to.
I did not notice any male or female like that.
So when you went out,
마시카님 부진이 거기다 뒤땅이님은 마트냐 산고 딱 걸어 같이 쇼 쿠티님이 깨우지 빡해마지 아 쇼대고
when during that ceremony was held,
holding,
holding, we should not use any meat items on that. That the protest doesn't like meat, only white like milk, cheese, samba or something that during that ceremony no meat was allowed to use.
No meat was eaten.
Because protector was against all the meat.
The protector was against the eating
Against
of meat.
if you do the ceremony with the meat, then there'll be
bad things will
bad
happen.
thing will occur or something happens.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
But they ate meat the rest of the time, yeah?
The rest of them they ate, but during that ceremony, when they praising
when they're praising the
then
protector.
no meats or any this was used.
Amatsundu pun, what does this mean? Does it have a meaning? Mother I know, but
Three means brothers like that.
Brothers.
Three, I think so. Three mothers, three brothers like that.
mother, three brothers.
I feel like I'm not sure.
Ah.
He also doesn't describe anything more.
Yes. So, did you sometimes go out into the fields with the ngagpa and saw him do this special knife wielding ceremony? Did you go out and see him do this?
Tadi prapal chona ke mi thong yo ra tadi pedana ngakwa yong tadi ke dem de so che jora. Instead of fathers not able to attend that ceremony, I have to go and attend. I have witnessed several times. Yeah, women or if there is a family men, then she can able to attend the ceremony. If there is a man, the man has to attend, not a woman. The family has any man, he has to attend, even though he is small or anything. If no one is in the family except a woman, then she has no objection to attend to me.
How long did this ceremony take? The ngagpa ceremony.
Tapeta nam ka chade ta tinga pa yong cha te cha sum chirwa. Tu manglos korgo ra dikha. It take long time. La. Tanda penda suma so so kola.
인간 때문에 나도 다 가지려고 있는 등산한다 말고
그런 최고로 가서 지래.
최고는 인간 최다 거는 배 송가다나 되고 다미 자지 잘라 세린데 되기로 와 미망 자다 좀 이난다지 간년다 되는데 미시겐 되니 대제스 때문에 그냥을 땅세 이제 다시 좀 간다 미시겐 되다 그도 많이 그는 이제 다 그래서 다 대슈디 계속되시
Yeah, take from the village to the protected where this was festival was taken. It take half a day to cross that area. That ngagpa takes he do the whole day prayer over there.
Whole day prayer.
Or except during the tea or lunch break or anything. Otherwise the whole day. And rest of the people who's along with them, they also try to do whatever they do the prayers. And have together drinkings and eating together like that.
And when the Nappa was out in the field doing this more secret ceremony, how long did that take? That part of it take?
Whole day, afternoon.
The whole day?
Ah. To that wooden one, he do whatever tantrics to be done to that. Whole day it takes.
The whole day
it takes. And then that was taken back to the village, and when necessary, it was used like that for protect the hailstorms.
So you would spend sometimes the whole day in the field with the Nappa?
Not sometime, only on the once before the crops was when crops.
No. Paula said that he went a few times with the Nappa and saw this ceremony. Yes, in the field.
The ngakpa dige ane tatende chirwa tat church thar mangle phaya pala. I have gone 3 times. Instead of father, I have went 3 times.
So this part of this particular part of the ceremony, I'm not talking about when the Nappas with the villagers and they're all like drinking and praising the protector, not that part, but the part when the Nappa actually goes to the field and does this thing with the knife that he was describing. How long does that part of the ceremony take?
The church here is and single line that sere kegres and ngakpa na gap any shing ten chirwa ko manglo guchir ko ti
지에 있다고 세라 용도 지금 매대 지금
China and Kamakazu pattern we
그럼 다 반지고 다 도성 로드 좀 되셔고 다 되면서 그거 유산나서 하고 수저로 하고 그러니까 더 찾아 발라고 전대고 다 하고 상나데 내가 야마 뒤쳤을 때
Yeah, it was take that according to the sign of the cloudis. If the cloudis was satisfied, he is away from that, then he stops. Otherwise, he should continue until the cloudy or sign of that hail is coming out. Sign is off. He has to wait and do all this.
원래 추도다 깔마 진짜 배타에 촌이
There is no time for that to be a minute or this, that.
So when you were watching this, when the Nappa was doing this ceremony in the field, can you describe what you saw happen in the sky?
다 빨라게 빼라는 ngagpa 다 저 세르카 데 치로와 데 치드간 때 빨라 빼는 통여와
그래
통드간에 문에 데 치드간 남 예딩에서 찍대 치대
뭐 다시래들 마피냐고 다에 그러면 인샤샤로 고간도 거 용내게는 오면 공샤도 도대래들 아마 예
It's sure that it should be otherwise we will not follow for a long back.
No. I'm not questioning it. I'm just asking to describe what you saw. Yeah, Lokyu. What did you see? What happened in the sky?
The Palakaran any pattern, the Ngagpa, the Che, the Ganane, Asli Gora, Takalo, Munekona, any Namla, any connected chicken by Yewa, that Palakan Tomura,
that going nam not silver, that in it. Ngapa di omre so si ta ngapa yori mi ti un rengo fala da con mi puta che si va ti sim mandi mi ta ci tevolo te un ta pesere un si di mi yu compagnia jigna si tevolo tene kuji tinja je yu tu sa pa ka ni de ka te ko karo ni pa te yang du do te rengan yu ba shima ko ta ka sta tong ba la ja du le ga tinja le renga jin ti ja ta mi ka ni ku tu ma yang du do ko tinja le di
yeah it was just when they were sure that it was going away from the village. Sometimes it was this was hail, snow, hail was nearby fallen, near where there is only no any villages or any like that, farm or any like that. It sometimes fall nearby the villages. Like this was witnessed every time, most of the time.
Was there any time that it didn't work?
That sometimes they think I put up at the chalk, circle wa. They come how do they come into the chest?
That kind of chance. 수요가 되는 나다 근데 죽어지 타가서 다 전수 줬으면 다 밤이 쉬다니 자마직도 그냥 내 과기 털에 근데 죽어서 자마직도 잡을 해 잡을 신이 쓰기도 로요한테 zon가 제대 농가 힘을 옆에 내와서 되시는 거라 근데 쇼대를 주던데 근데 자마직 신이 쓰기 자마직도 다 진짜 곧바로 관대 쇼를 말이 누가 없네 쇼라 쓰기면 됐어서다 갑자기 오시라 백가가는 망가서 양지 곧 담지 주기 전에
it was happened once not to me but to the father. It was happened and that was we feel that during that time it was the sign that someone might have crossed the afternoon.
Oh, somebody might have crossed the boundary in the
afternoon or something.
Maybe
that was
wondering
this might be happened, so we cannot stop it or listen.
An errant yak. Where did the Nappa live?
Ngagpa kawal digore.
Tana
live nearby the Tana
village.
La.
Tana pate Mimambu.
Mimambu. Concept jira.
Jikaza simple ta.
Tana sing there. Kazu is a tumba. There is a big villages in the nearby called nearby quite far away. It's called a Tanak. He stays there.
So this village was the one that was 3 days by foot.
Tanak the paro like Tonsa Nimasum school, right?
Nimasum the Talishun, the Mikapa to Nimasum the Guri.
Talishun Shabsum.
Talman,
La.
Talishun,
by horse it take 1.5 days, by walking it take 3 days to reach that Tanak from the village.
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused. So if it took that long to come, you said by horse 1.5 days, I'm assuming the Nappa would arrive by horse. That's 1.5 days that it would take him. So if you saw, clouds gathering and it looked like it was going to hail, wasn't that a sort of long time that it would take for him to... I mean, they'd have to then send the message to the Nappa, we need you to come because it looks like there's hail. How did that work?
Tapedana ngakpa de ta nimachik chagas ta na da mi ko ba nimasum skora Kesi and concept the land is terror that the there is no need to call him because he has already kept what necessary things was kept, which we made tantric or what he has kept. This wooden was kept forever in that village for a period of 4 months.
Oh, so anybody can
use this used and give us a special this one.
마치 남자 똥놈이야 말이야. 그 주도직이 이벌을 사때 같이 내가 사와 온 거요 말고 까투요. 땅에 고 뒤져가 말더니 뒤져배지 라야 버. 그 정말로.
We got call him because it will be this snow selling will occur within 1.5 hours like that. Suddenly comes and suddenly goes like that.
Yeah.
So it should be kept ready with that. So before the when farming was started, this sermon was held and tantric was called. And he, after doing that, he keep this sign, whatever is made tantric on that wood. He'll keep this to the village. When necessary, when this, in the village this snow hailing was going on, he can use that.
So in the beginning, the Nappa would arrive, do the ceremony, the beginning of when the farming starts, and then pass on the ritual instrument to the others. What did the Nappa look like? Can you describe that?
아빠도 고랑 앞이 제로리 근데 지금 자제 진짜 괜찮은 거고 자제 고랑 말때 앞이 때 매요 되지 그 또 버리지 그래 진짜 뒤에 뭐 도와지는데 자제 고랑도 진짜 고랑 많고
it was downward it was used a monk color and up on top is a normal man dress was entire
자 그래 뒤로 뭐 하나서 우리 고랑 아빠로 근데 참고 쉬어자고 건 삼전이 진짜 자마트 매일 다시 명확하게 된 게 진짜 예용한 거예요. 그래야 시간이 언제 종바치기면 어때 빼빼 자나버서 벽이 말이 종바치고랑 딱 파서 붙는 거 근데 인사를 그 종바치기 표현 그래. 그럼 미부도 마부쇼를 그랑 빈자 마부. 진짜 그 종바치면 벽이 건도 마 롱발 참견은 멤버 쇼든에서 자마트 매일 마부가 때집었다. 참보잡 고라잡 지금 자마 락도 근데 남자하고 미 장기 송자기 진짜 락도 참보잡 근데 나라 쇼가요.
He is a very powerful tantric, and it was family wise. And if a forefather was the tantric, and it was like that. So he is a very powerful, and he used to make sometimes chams nearby the village, and used to take the cham.
Dancing.
Dancing for what dancing? Religious dancing.
Religious dancing
was occurred. He used to, but he was the main person.
Oh, really?
And that iron with the red one, burning irons, like putting in his mouth and just throwing like that. This was taken by used to do by the tantric person. That tantric
burning iron in his mouth.
In the mouth and just cooling down it. So powerful he was.
He could cool the iron
cool
down
the iron
with his
mouth.
Burning hot iron with his mouth.
In the mouth.
Really? Did you see this?
He told them, "Ma met the color look and I have not witnessed all the villages used to share this. According to the religious Buddhist, this one he has to do this. This is the main focus.
What?
Putting the burning irons in the mouth and just dragging out like that.
That was his main
activities during the flock or religion dance.
During the dances?
Religion dance. He's doing a cham, which is called religion.
Yes, but during the religious dance, this is when he used to take, what, like a long
같은 거야, 근데
기말에다 장계세신 탑변사 좋아 탑진데. 근데 그 탑중도 해야 되는 게 그거는 그 줄여가 탑 걸고 시작도 뒤난다 뒤난가 자마진데 메샤신 괜히 되고인데 군사에 자가서 와. 대결에서 군 뒤뒤면 자마들 배는 장은 진짜 잡라 잡히었어요. 나기 군산 쉬마고 당아서 세라 효리에 가르쳐 담직자도 소소 다시 받자자 주는 효라는 효리주에 그러면 나 오늘 다수래다.
He is a very powerful, and we always believe that our field will not spoiled by any hails or that, except between the relations or between any clash or between the village that don't live peacefully. That might be occurred something bad was to the village.
That could also
Could met with
bad weather.
Bad weather, but hailing will be not problem because of his powerful tantric.
So did this ngagpa, did he service a number of villages, different villages?
And kodime tongsa shema denba la ngagpa ki pen thogora.
shema tinde shemeta.
I have not noticed. No notice in other village.
And did he come to stay in your village?
Koran ane ngagpa di ki tongsam na la yungo ro.
배당을 용으로 좀 이거 다.
Lola yungore kale gore.
다티 거는 반제 다바 강인 시와에 내 지금 나가 여신 갔다 오고 그때 고용고요. 뭐 달로 다바 코나 이거. 띵아서 밥이 쉬러 도고 그러다 미 마비지 고백이 맞네. 다지 라제 등자세 배샤면 두다 가르쳐는데 미겜 하는 데는 아중조리 주도요. 말에 미 파미시리. 미겜 거치 하고 메셰면 거미 쉬우치고 그러다.
Before the farming,
he would stay for a while.
Before the farming, we should all welcome him, ask him to come to the village and do this ceremony.
And he would stay for a few days.
He stayed for a few days, and whatever the necessary things we used to offer to the tantric person.
Oh, so interesting. Yeah. In your village, who are the people who made the decisions for everybody else?
Tongsa dinalani the pompo zongbuyon soda thaani chikisuye.
다진ner 거를 미사 시하고 지우래.
라.
만도 이나데 만도 되고 있는 가된 바로 지금 그 지우다. 나 랭가지 관지 거라다 겸지금 시고라 미사 지도 제 되고.
미사 지우러 와.
미사 지고.
아니 그 미사 지 민 가사?
가된 바로스.
가된 바.
가된 바로스.
Kaden Paro was the main administrator of this area. He
He
was the forefather's family
college.
La. Punzo Rapte. Koran He was the biggest family. He has the biggest family on our village, so he decided everything, and we followed.
Do you mean biggest or the wealthiest?
Wealthiest.
The wealthiest. Okay.
Wealthiest family in our village, so we follow him, and he give all the necessary instruction and orders whatever should be done.
So Kartempa was is a title, like a village leader.
That comment that Johnson Digita Kalo that Pomochisho Korwa. A person Nangar Kirski.
Tangana Tisun and the Yanalaji, then the Zonga Zon took the Togo in Jemita, Contra Dwasigra, and the Tessin is in it and the Lundam Desert, the Contra the Sensi. That young, the Contra commentation at it, Desocorin and Imitas, Council Yundis and the Katias and Jatango and Tagasi in your culture.
It was appointed by the village that he was the man well known. He can speak, he have more knowledge of the awareness of the others, this one. So we appoint him, the villages appointed him, or he used to go when the other villages to be to talk or anything decision be done. He used to participate in that meeting or anything.
So Kartempa is a title, not a name.
Not a name.
It's a title.
Title,
like
yeah.
his village leader or
village leader.
So when you said that he was appointed, elected, like did everyone just sit around and discuss it and say this guy would be the best guy? Like how was that decision made?
Ko anytime the Thompson did not meet Chetak, near Miss on the Chico Caritajana Kuja, Kajashedi, and a gun on the bed, Delan and Osho, Low, any Kyo in Talet, and a kind chucker.
Takopa teaches in the Tapa decoration, we should miss you on the Mimizan child, looking at the Tindaki, the time the Shetam, Takopa Tindas Pass of the day inside that switching. And you look so one of your Tangamayo,
There is no election on anything because he was one of the richest family, and so we believe him the most. Every villagers believe him or trusted him the most. So like the usual, anyone says he doesn't believe that. If he says something, he have lots of power or anything, it might be correct like that. So as usual like this, he was being a main person.
That machine number 10 고왔던 괜찮은 다 직접해서 뭐 코코나 파서 부들 되게 인도 사람들 당장 종가 시간들이야 다 설명했으니까 뒤다 되는 일을 하면 되느냐 뒤에 왜 누구도 와 버려 신디메지 누가 반지인데 인사를 삼비도 다 덴데스 당하려 좀 저와싱이 예때도 양 도대주 디다 군수 생계디 밀기티베 약좀 생겨나 그 생계디 지게디
in every most of the village there may be a chief leader or chief or leader that might be used to go like normally if you continuing the family when one was chief if your father goes the young his son or continues go like that
hereditary.
양고 세월에 진짜 집에지 담대 시인데 말다 고고 땜부 원에 장내 장대 간팀 간시고 있는데 지금 랑고 그냥 제 대위 뭐 고걸 배 이제 시작이고 냠중이나 해서 진짜 미사다 로케는 걸 샤샤르미지 야 다하게 배 주로 땅 마죠 진짜 마땅 진짜 싸우는 말고
and respect him because he treat everyone as equal which is necessary they respect them very lots like that in that village.
So he was a good guy. So was there like a village council? Were there other people that worked with him, or was he just sort of the only authority?
라고 체셔 제와 그거래 내가 지금 믿는 여래
다 내가 지금 믿더니 그런 때쯤이나 우리는 되는 이 대기지나 그런 미탈을 된데 정말 루루체 개제시 정말 다 직서서 수강 지팅사는 삼자되는 강대원을 하는 이제 시고 생년자면지 이거 원래 다 뒤좀 다양 차주로도 먼저 좀 버티니 다 샤무 니한테 순진이 됐어 지금 뭐지 정말에 다 떠올라 보고디 다 샤무 숨 다와 니 되고 있어 얘가 다와 니 또부터 니 이제 되고 길라 보디야 다 대조 코리나네 대조 미지 고천다 대수지 길라 양과 니제 라제 대세 교도로세 미국에는 이제 조금 조단로 다바 조금 소시고 야 진짜 조금 양과 내주로 그 말이 진짜 된다고 지금现在 손도 강치고는 소지기 강시에는 해지 고가는 이제 저도 중마도 마중 쓰는 장면만 됐고
yeah there is many even other means other persons also with them with any final discussion to be done there's other people also come and discuss with them and so they have a discussion and then he finalizes and do it.
There's discussion. And when you said that you invited the Nappa to come, how was this invitation made? Did somebody just get on their horse and then ride to his village? Like, how would you communicate with him if he lived in a day and a half travel away? Somebody would have to go and invite him, yes, on their horse, I would imagine.
And dikala and condition kyontaki takene denishuga pigore dingela ngakpar shuwa tanga to perochi shuwa condition
다 저기 담이 코란 다위tin 코란 다시는 배면 진 페로치 슈라 고기도와 양 외뒤 배 진짜 신의 다지 그도 이게 저 고자 이게 단테면 련도 고자 민주한다고시 티 페로치는 미 고르면 따단지 양 따단데 있는 인제기 들에 염이 도서 세단고에서 다지
미랭가 도고래
다 갑자기 배랭가 도고다 양 다치진 마비는 미고 뒤죠 코미에 다지 다 가트셀 페미용선 이제 배 사다기야 이제 땅
미야 타가 도고래 간데로
다가 미다 간다는 되죠 이제 배
we have to go and invite him with 2-3 men on the horse and invite him and request him to come
So in 1954 you noticed some Chinese coming on horseback, is that right?
지금 ngapshis kaulani ke kemi ta thangko ter sonsom nalle tongso
다 ngapshita shu ngapshi 생네 ngapshi 내도 쓰면 ngapshi 조용하러 ngapshi ngap시랑 이 말이 십주 협대 지내들 주지됐어
알파라트 통세
ngapshi 얼굴로 셔도요 그래 다 ngapshi 중에 진짜 시가팅 정가세 됐어
알 제가 ngapshi 치도
ngapshi ngap시인데 진짜 진지들
yeah all 54 he saw them first military at Tonga chote
first military
망미래 미규마리
마음이 말고 그래 규마디 다도 시긴들이
as an official
되게 규내로 그 제반 지금은 어떻게 하면 그래 다 공배장보리 참 됐는데 대사 종들이 대서 진짜 대고 지역 가서는 그 님은니까 딸이는 것도 하고 그랑 찬고요 말에 강시고 그랑 도도 그러잖아 다른 다디 미치 부들 미치야 현아시도 이제 그것도 그 된다신다 강시에 되면도 그랑 가고랑 배 님이면 디네 그때 난다 이제 빠르게 이제 그렇지 빠르게도 하고 디네 장 어디 하고 이제 주기도 가리 된다 장시에 그때 장시 주기도 와 다기도 리셋한 가란 때고 뭐 다디 뒤도 종가세는 됐어. 다비시양 죽순 가지. 랩다 뒤도 깨주지고 살고. 어떤데 신데 랩는 다 나와지 하 때문에도 근데 돼.
망위 가졌을래서.
죽순 가지 나와지.
Yeah, there was almost 13 to 14 Chinese people, authoritative people with colored dress and taking a photograph and looking a lens, this one from the height, and stayed almost 1 month over area over there with the not humming and
surveying equipment. Surveying equipment, like surveying, yeah? And they were wearing just normal
dress, civil dress.
And okay, and they were just taking photographs and surveying. And then, do you want to talk to us about what you saw in the road construction, Tibetan workers in the road construction?
건조 완전 줘요 거야 싸가지 가르치나 꼴 남자 시기도 와 다들 연락 소양 다 샤머니 저니 숨도 줘 어디 사자래 당한지 민다 되는듯이 약지양아지 땅을 다 숨도 땅을 뒤다 야가 공부 한번 더 지금 잘 주고 고 정말 조금 사람 예행안 되는 거다 쿠구 캔이요 말고 잘 주려고 그러고 있다 비가 ting식 땅 동가 ting식 다디 제도 너네 변다 죽지구지 아주 변다 죽니 같이 되어가지고 그 죽에 타도 죽에 티캔도 공가 송디 Tino ko tu munia ta lamso si shulipsa. Teme ko mi. Mambo shuj be kuni chije masa ni mi chini ta tani kuni. Ta ka dawa shi song ma song sigen ni tin dawa ni so so kading si tu ni tin chi dunja chi ni ta ngi chuti tang ko si tu tan dunja chi ni chuti tang mi sta ni. Tini be mi tiga saye me che to a ta tu ta nya ko ma ri be chenang da hena su si ro mi be to. Tan ta pu yo pa ma yo ko ye ni mi tu ko ye me tu tin sa la mo je pom ja ni u la me khang chi me. 답에 그러셨다는 지주 다 된다 야야 이러면 대롱다 dunja시 돼 디네 저랑 땅고 말 와야 그래서 진짜 야야야 제 진짜 세는 가지고 디네 민다 dun지다 야시양아 지주기다 야시양아 중에 다 숨을 진짜 이 고시게 미주어리 다 그지 디네 콜라베 저랑 다 디마지 싸원이 지지고 요 말에 다 저랑 걔랑 진짜 미지주 그래야 그지가 세중고 세는 거 펜토고 요 말했어 다 저랑 배하 룽바를 송세니 룽비지미 따포 야 po mi ke choa mi chuchukle yonde chelo ngemi ke cheyo pura kongles ko ladwa ta ko be ungo les kera ta be unna me jigi mari mi changma de lamso che yong yore na lamso jule yong go ti yong me mari me ta ni ungo mari ti kongo les ko ti ladwa ku ti nge kongo yong ti ngala be gongba na ro si ladwa ku na ma ko na ngala ni ga wen zo su ni je ko ta be ta chu sen lo ren de ngene ji ta yin但这下面就是送看咱们看这你米卡在这里就在米现在查在看不回来的就切看不得这个光是俺那边光把拿起来多会可光把拿起来我节目就是在俺这种把它考验但对我就里面俺说在里边嘛的他我没得过一道考这个是他过我的透明过这个在这下面考这个以前俺别多了那真的你下面讲就是俺过去的还是这面俺里边嘛是군ኝ 이제 딱 자신 소리 시야시 그거 땅도 걸어 또 그거 진짜 로는다 로는 그 드린 거 공을 리비지 당한테 대도 좀 제다 배 자다 딩을 고기를 거야 다 ngapjunga ngapje tere keta simbuta kemibe tupo tinja tanga munia tinja tukse keja koni be mi kam jigne tende ter ta kanja sik chöye chöye sen te gu chön tu gu te gu ta chöna ni nganzo de so keja se te zo ni ke chen namun nang chogo du ste min du stain gyura cha jik simjen cha ji ka ju mun te me te gi ta te gi na ni no ba chogi me te gi sen namun na shomgo du skam jalu ka tu gu na yak na ta na pöri mi ta se be te gi te no gu du 대만 손시했다 공무지. 다 공부에 살하고 있는 손시 고립 살하고 있는 손시. 딱 안돼 시가 손 이야기하면 대가 한번 가도 싶으면 다 저기 있다. 난 되기면 정말 잘 되는 누가 되기면 이제 가면 돼요. 다 냅지라 거는 요 다 비가 두고 남디 니주 구인이면 태워 말다. 알라. 진짜 지금이 본다. 진짜 그거 하면
남서대 아니 지도 그냥 가줄 수 있대.
뒤도 간세 뒤다. 식동 등에 뒤두고 뒤시면 하고 말을 요랑 별비잖아. 다와 중립이 니고때 조용을 간제 다와 중립이 니
빨아 남쪽 고추가 저래 견하게 안에 딱도 담독 정부 정선에 남쪽 셈제 디가스 기쇼 포기 기쇼 야미기 라베라 남쪽 도여라 디 거도
하면 당 안쪽 어디 또 문이야 공도 안쪽 심해 남자 안쪽 계제 디고는 조용하다 당 안쪽 개미
남쪽 도녀 말어
도녀 말 신어 말 깨자 디시아를 남도
지도 목자 갔었어도.
맞지 얼굴로 가서 조용하러 뒤에 어디 이 꽃이 오는 가서 직동 치로
로직니니야.
로직 말에 딱 그냥 앞중 얼굴로 가서 조용 앞중 얼굴로 하는
람수쇼라이드래.
람쇼세 앞중 얼굴에 딱 이제 완전 별빛이 시가 있는 진짜 중립이지 29년면 가서 조용하러 거기 오늘도 29가 족 되는 조용하다. 어떻게 진짜 가르치고 되도 하고요 말.
Yeah, it was on almost when road construction was going on. Chinese have asked, informed all the nearby village that all should come and attend, come here and should send some animal yaks or for a loading this and that, and numbers given. So instead of that, one person was from the village went to the Chinese authority and he informed. He went to know what's going on. So when he went there, Chinese authorities has told him that from your village and all should come and join the road construction. If otherwise, they will follow a severe punishment or this and that.
The villagers should
come and you go and inform them and bring all the people.
And they also wanted the yaks.
Yaks and animals for the transporting and this and that. So he said, okay, I'll go take information, I'll go and give the information, but you should give me leaves for at least 15 days to come and go. To go to the village, inform the village, my people, and bring back, and it may take 15 to something days. So you should give me this permission. The China
who is saying this?
That person from the village.
Oh, the person from your village.
Went to the Chinese authority
okay.
and learned and everything. Yeah. He said you should give me 15 days to bring all my village people for a road construction. So when he came to the village, he said that now time is not correct, and we have now if we stay here, it will be lots of problems we are going to face. As before we even also a few months a few back that there are many clash between the Tibetan and Chinese troops going in Lhasa or anywhere like that.
Sorry?
The Chinese conflict between the Chinese and
they
Tibetan
knew about that.
Yeah. So they were already very feared.
I see, very anxious.
Feared and very distant. So now they were Chinese authorities were asked to come to the construction. They feel that now they're going to face more problems or any like that. So that person said, now I think we should run away and should not go to the road construction or go under the Chinese people. So if you believe me or trust me or you feel I'm correct, you should follow me. Otherwise, you better don't think that we are lost. We are leaving such property and leaving things over here. Don't go to the. Don't think much about what living things we are going to leave. Think of the future. So better to follow me and come with me. And if not coming, you better just jump it in the river and sacrifice. You have to face more problem, as I witnessed when I went to there and known something like that. There was shade to them. So they start running, and all the village followed him and start coming from to the exile.
This person who did this, is this the Kotempa you were telling us about?
That panda kyundu tronse michik tanda kyundu lenga yong ta chike janala chin pombo ta chine imakashis guga lap and kyundu tale yong rwa dimi disure
jana seda mare ta
jana marta gemi pombo do pobek lamso
le the Kotempa
lobsan ten fil bojo ta te kui chongba ti tanda kol karni je pu kol kale
lobsan ten ji
sin khona chula ye kanje cheni sanda music ko say ta gemi say ne kanje
it's a lobsan ten but he was dead in border in the
side and da ku nyali yandi phere da namjal
la
ku yandi phere da
he has helped lots
ku ti mala bina ngal gemi shoy yi ngal rongban kuku ge de ra gemi khadi yo ko ku ta huni du gongba shui je ni je ta be ya ko shoji che ta je na joge ni ora jogo 다야 뮤직이 남자를 지금 로스네 기타 메타 저지 된다 디타 딩리시가 저 미리베 미쇼지 lep선네 다 나와 직선이 숨싱아 도고 베 민다 라테 다 부고 중중 옆에 말 바바마 ken거 강보 6년에 나무 땅고 낭 땅고 세니 베 답다신이 땅고 진짜신 땅고 두두진 고보 땅이 lep도 다 그러면도라 죄는 다 가지 않다 가 주대 유비리 다 미타라 달메다 에레 어때 디 조용 롭산 되는 세군요
롭산 담바 사 lot other
Lobsang
Tenzin. If he were not there, then because we are from the village where were not unknown of what Chinese was going, he informed that he saw witnessed that many people in the road construction was suffering a lot, and heard that many people were fighting and lost lots of life. So better you come and follow me. And
Lobsang Tenzin, was he from that family, that wealthy family who was in charge of the village leader family, or was he from a different family?
That on Lobsang Tenzin lang chirwa. Ko any tanakyo tongseep dinala, tongseep dinala. Tab mizang chile.
Chile dictator ko te ta khata ji kwa se ni je chai ko ta pa ta ne ma ka ke ko ni je sa dik te chai tu le bom khele se ko tang ye ko do ye ni je ko pe ya ko ni je.
He was a good person.
Inde mizang chombo tin ha le mo ko dik je ta ko dik je tin de dik ta kan je dictator.
He's not that a man rich family. He was a worker, and in that family he was a very active person.
He was a worker in that family?
Worker, or what is the...
Servant?
Not servant. He was a member of that area who in that village. Leadership members.
Oh, he was one of the
leadership members. And you help them to speak.
I understand, who was under the Katempa. I see.
And he was a very active person.
He was a very active person.
So he went and witnessed everything and shared to the village.
So people had lost
and he followed him, and on the way he lost his life. And helped all the whole villages to escape.
So how many, well, first of all, how many families were in your village? How many families lived in your village?
No, 60 to 80 families.
60 to 80 families. And of those families, how many families chose to go with Lobsang Tenzin, approximately?
That Lobsang Tenzin did love rather than Takuya Mundo, Tang, Kang Tessa, in the Leptigan, did the Queen Yam de la Mimongleture?
There's so pull a training or that.
The Tomba Jajupura.
Tomba Kayaji, the summer thanks and my lock with the Takon chair, Lossy Lord. She put a younger chair, that is
almost came, but few returns, 1 or 2, 10 to 5 family returned back.
Didn't that's not the thing, but the cousin lost. Mamma,
yeah, lost that.
Yeah, lost.
And after a few, when he followed after him, some families returned back to the village also.
Because the journey was so hard, why did they?
Kachine ko Lord, Gabla.
That kind of thing,
Kange Lamgal Kange Tin Lord.
The Lord, that person can say as me to just me to me to catch it, that daughter can see the merit in the crew on the poor mount of Lord. That Tomba Chingis in Koran Benjo, the Kadi Samdan Hamu, yes, the Lord, that Lord and precious again, Mary, gave me, they can't die, so the woman in the
Yeah, we went back because some with a huge family cannot want to leave everything property or
they
something
just
like
change their minds.
By mind, and some were very hardship on the way. Because they don't have proper food and anything with small children and that, so they returned back.
So if an average family was maybe 7 members or something in the average family, and you're saying that almost 80. We're talking about 500 people, approximately, maybe.
Then a concept dinala, Tomba Tuju Gajo Lara. Me Tangana, Tidigana, shifting up the area. It might be almost 300 members.
Almost 300 people.
Peoples.
So that was...
Yeah, turn this there. That's a yes room is a singy setting. That me can chat and I just hear.
Casus class, eh?
Doing yes, Lord.
Simple lotion.
Me two doing yes, my good to say, yes, to live.
Do you my simple lotion?
Mariman, doing yes, that Lord, you say, Tambotini, that in that Mizan, the Mizan, Kazu, me, Kazutanga, then they show me. Didn't ya live that low chimney can say, didn't Mizan can come with Calason, is young.
Almost starting with 5 to 6 family was returned back.
So when Lobsang Tenzin came back with this information, did he gather everybody? Did he call everybody in the village to come and listen to what he had to say? His idea that we should leave.
The pattern colors of the Mal Chilo Gan and Transfer the town, the Yapumu Lord, Togu the Lavra. Did soon to Kong Kandakache. He called the meeting.
He called a meeting.
And he shared all. That lobster did when he came from the Chinese authority, that it was he said that it was 15 days to reach that village.
Yes,
he told lie to the Chinese people.
So he had time,
because
he was thinking ahead.
It was almost 3 days to reach, but he told 15 days.
He said 15 days.
And he was very lucky that he did not send any Chinese authority with him also.
He was really,
if you have sent
he
it,
was thinking this.
if you have sent it, then we all the villagers have faced more the problems and that. So he said that this is the time we cannot think left for more time is left. We should finalize with 1 or 2 days, and we should escape.
He's not tapamare.
Means?
Tapame. Monk.
He's
not a monk.
He's in India and Collegal. He's a Tibetan, so normal person.
He was not a monk.
Not a monk. He's staying in Collegal.
I thought you said he died.
Children are living here. And away from
the children are here.
I have no much information. We heard that he was killed by Chinese or something, but he was not able to come inside India. While crossing, that was he said that while crossing he was dead, but some people say it was killed by the Chinese, some people say he's died, and
you never saw
and never this one.
Can you describe a little bit of the journey, because this is a lot of people who were traveling all in one group? Did you split up into smaller groups, or did you all stay together?
That and that panic me mango da to tombo pet sumjes the tombo gam to me mango shura mango in the turn the gun and mix a conduct to kang mix a nil
진짜 셔리다 남자 여인인가 셔다
They immediately
어디 가서는 강당 가서 미피고 그 강이 둘러만 라사로 쇼도 따지 밥이라고 생각 주면 생각 있는다고 집 군족 가든지 집 까이는 간 진짜 신탈이다 다리 디네까지 디네 지원이 가버온 것에 메리뇨 뇨라고 준조 진짜 대 준조 시기
서버 갭 and gonda dengue and 그래 지금 말해.
저스 개메리 님은 추적해야지 양뭐 공사 볼때 양응 어떻게 이런 거를 하는 쇼 준조니 베비기 준조를 강보 시도리 루니 시도리 야니 시도 체비도 가는 체기도 와 이런 거는 추민도 내가 사람도 롱바 쪽 쇼인데 다 진짜 신이 로세도 뭐 달간지 있어 진짜 신이 용었다 저로 가
Yeah, while escaping from the village, they on the group they were coming all together, and we used to stay for a 2 to 3 hours break, and continuous coming. And it for the huge snowfall was taken to that when they escaping. So Chinese authority and Tibetan Chinese means these spies were also falling after them. And due to the heavy snowfall, one of the Chinese Tibetan Chinese spies, he and Chinese they were just looking looking from the lens that where the people are running.
Binoculars.
They are looking on that, and there some people used to say that Chinese authorities said that these are not people, might be something else. He said these are people are running, escaping. Chinese authorities says that these are not a people, human beings. It might be something animals or anything.
You couldn't really see because of all the snow.
Due to snow. It later came to know that Chinese authorities doesn't want to go because due to heavy and want to give a misinformation that we don't find any people, so we don't went.
Because they were too lazy to go into.
Too late because heavy snowfall was going on, feeling very this one. So Chinese leadership used to tell that this misinformations that this is not a Tibetan, this is a God protects, we believe. Because this was shared by the person who's a Chinese person, spy. They shared to him when they arrived in exile that you were running, and I tried to inform that these Chinese that these were real Tibetan, means human beings are escaping. The Chinese leadership says that this is not a human being, it might be animal or heavy snowfalls sign or anything like that. So I did not force him that this is a human beings running this and that. You might be protected by someone, God or anything. This was shaped like that. But faced loss, and on the way all the animals died because due to no proper water, no grass or no proper food, animals, every sheep and goats and every yak was dead on the way.
They were dead.
On the way.
But everybody. So, what time of year was this?
다고 샤마 종가를 주네 내가 와 잘. 맹내를 고 자나 저야. 고만나는 거 같아. 대고 쉐비도 다 먼저 벽다 로서고네. 군적으로 라스마도 배 쇼도 세르바니 이제 고뼈 흔도 대체도 당연히 뭔가 걸롱세 갔더니 저 밑에 진짜 라스마가 통만이었어. 당에 레스 우즈게나 거기 말했기도. 당아res. 다팀 한대 셴는 건도 말로도 뒤도 죽음들로 다팀이 말은 미대 장냐로 그런 종가 말이 종가를 샤문이 사자리 하다 스테이션스 건데요. 먼저 다른 무슨 계속 수요 그런 지 러스 다 계속 수요지 그런 먼저 띵랑 위에 삼로 말이니 진짜 집에서 말이지 그런 봄보라 니마 지금 되어서 보여서라도 다 된다 쟤는 통제돼 그런 기본으로 다 되니만 쪽이나 막 진짜 그런 하송 수서 요요 제 땡한테 다른 거 성이 매대 그래서 진짜 쟤는 계속 현종을 제했어 다 구체성서 진짜 쟤는 그지 말이 콜라베 강보 랍진 년랍 잡진 다 저는 먼저 샤무 주조고 좀 다른 진짜 농가 진짜 질레 성이 농가 민리시면서 그러면 도면이 해요 말아 건전히 매대에 스타트니 호정은 먼저 흐르기리 우리 매대에 사 장조 성인들이 다짜만이 민족 스콜라 랍지 건저 뒤에 집어 동이 딱 먼저 미기로 건도 가서 차려라고 그지 두고 땅에다 셰셰니 진짜 셰니 샤마트 직수고 뒤에 대에 있어 거기 뒤에 종가에서 종가
가서 됐어?
아
샤모 가서 됐어.
샤무 뒤에서 니만 이 사자리다 다 본지 뒤면 저 미자들 대딩대서 수지곤 대서는 누구 말아 왔다 주지가 담자서 해나면 왜다 밀어요 이제 시간 좀 미자 대딩대서 뒤에 종가를 광다 알려줬다 자니 가능만 매대에서 가봐 신연한다 아 장규 태우님은 별 소리에서 아니면 아주 다른 샤무 뒤에서 거리 쇼지를 송아지 계속 셰지 주소서 계속 셰인서 그때 셰인 코랑 딜라버지로 와 자니 배 종가를 진짜 지게서 이제 진짜 현재 저리 해선 랍쇼고 말다. 나도 강 라바도 좀 라보스. 라바 인스.
보볼라.
예, bombo 좀 bombo 다 세워 동걸 대어로 세워 그냥 라바 인스. 랍니 누베 종기 거사 이득 미득다 가져 연한다 민다 숨직직 수광전에 숨직다 대run된다 그러고도 가는 거 때문에 그냥 재미 마음 숨자 담바단 진짜 지기 통다 갈랑 산나는 미시기 민다 숨 거사 임면서 숨고 배 장비를 송송하고니 장리 송았어. 다음에 장부 하트에서 당가서 하여 샤신. 나도 해야만 거기다 가자 이거. 공가서 할래 돼. 다 견들 배 하송마 등원에 또 나도 하송마 하고 이제 다른 걸 대디 배념 중에 강부 배 지지를 있잖 교회 담수자 투부 중인이로 와. 이제 중을 하는 거.
Yeah, when we reached in exile, the person who was spice of Tibet, Chinese, the person who was spice of the Chinese, Tibetan spy, Chinese spy.
Yes, I understand.
He came in exile and said that when we following you, I noticed that you were going, but the Chinese, the authority refused that recognize you all. So I believe that this was the protect by the God or some protectors.
Maybe,
So maybe like that, or maybe, and you feel that because of your people in the village were very peaceful people and God wish you or very safety or like that. So when even he was instructed by the Chinese authority that when we reached to the Tonga, where there is the headquarters of the Chinese, whatever we inform to the high authority of the Chinese, you should say yes, and you should not give me information that what I have said. Said that no, you never saw like that. We have saw or something. I'll say because they did not follow the people's. So they want to say that we did not find any people, so we returned back to the Tonga.
I didn't understand that last part, Namdo. So who's going to the Songkran? I don't understand.
When the Chinese authority and that spy Tibetan Chinese,
Yes.
when they returned back to the headquarters
When they returned back to the headquarters,
they should give the information.
who should?
The Chinese authority to the higher authorities.
To the higher authorities.
Was that we did not find any.
Oh, so okay, passing on the same information. Okay. I have a couple of questions. Just 1 second, sorry. What time of year, do you know what month this was?
The
That they escaped?
진달이 내 대쇼쇼만 아주 다 변다 중립이기까지 29년 태어나리 진달이
It's in the Tibetan calendar, it's the 12th month of the last of the 12th month.
So,
Tibetan calendar.
so
It might be
spring-
February something, winter session.
But it was after, March 1959, how long after that?
The Chitugupte Gorku Nela
어떤 얼굴로
Mulokara and Narkula, Chindasumbala to the Tapetana, that's short walk.
그래서 딱 만도 디니에 진짜 순간에 변다 가라리는 변비세는 만도 변다세는 진짜 중립이나 진짜 중립의 슈크다 니슈 그래 줘요. 다 진짜 그냥 그때 하고 나와디 로당 거는 저는 아주 뭐
The short sun is my younger.
그래 아주 뭐
It was the month of same year 1959. It was the month of the December like that.
Oh, so it was winter time.
Winter time.
I see. And of how many people died on the journey?
Lamgala you can be casus strong to take it to
기쁨이 좀 가서
no one has died.
Nobody died.
딱 편이
Wow,
미통
that's
가서
amazing.
이제 다 가서 인다 가니 다 하고 그러는
La.
근데 찬이 자다 내가 그때 제 하고 진짜 미통 가서
When we reached in exile,
Yes.
when we reached in exile, some people died due to climate conditions.
Right, but not on the journey, yeah?
Not in China.
And when an animal died, you said all the animals died. When an animal died on the way, did you stop and do prayers for the animal?
Stop them.
And do prayers for the animal?
That's Samjay Lamgal, you can Samjay put a Lamgal tongue walk.
심지
Physical mixing, that Molam Gaya, that country gets chair, Samjay this tongue.
다 심지 견주시다 가만히 지금 시가 남자 그걸 단지 가야 돼요. 아주 내가 벤치는 걸 리타서 하고 있는 딱풀이야 가면 루코랑 그는 원래 루도나 사이야 보면 누디 이자라 센 간지요. 간 시가 많이 당해지면 시가 가면
We are escaping from the with such care. There was no any feelings that we should halt and have a special performance. But in a mind we feel that all human beings means like belonging with us. Everything was dead and feel very badly, and used to on the way we used to take money, the special in the heart. Prayers was going on.
You would do money in your heart.
Look at the chick laid and you should know what taking to relate and graham into Tato. That reserve within the king and delayed to serve within the Nepalese and to just into the yak and reach into the range of Baptist because of the new cheers and somebody images and can't see him.
When we are crossing on the way to the on a very carved road, it started sometimes animal fall from very high and feel very bad, but cannot do anything.
I see.
It was the road was very so carved and
very steep.
Steep like this. When animal fall, due to the unbalance of that animal falls, and it looked very painful.
Very painful. And did the Nappa come with him? The Nappa.
No, it's not a now village.
You're not from the village. So this man, Losang Tenzin, he basically saved the entire village.
He saved a lot. Still we remember him, his kindness, and now those who are staying there in village now who returned back, they faced many problems under the Chinese.
The ones who returned back, the ones who didn't decide to come.
If Lobsang Tenzin was there, the same problem we might be faced by all these village people. With his guidance and his help, we are escaped, and now we are in exile with under the blessing of his holiness.
And how far did he get in Losang Tenzin before you heard that he had been killed? Being a very young, but only heard that he was he died, and his, now his son children has used to share to them that his father was died on the way and somewhere on the way.
No proper information was.
How many days was the journey?
And more than 2.5 months.
2.5.
That shows grows 2 minutes.
La.
But simje da mi da te simje jo ra mini ke go da te kan mero pe grows show to bit yon.
We have to walk for few times. We cannot walk for a long like this. Feel tired and something like this. It was taken long route.
And so many people also.
Te the car mi ka le ko na da reset tuni me ji chwe me da. Ta ko lam minge mange me tuni me ko chwe ko me ji lam teo ji da lam je chwe da ko ka be yin ro la ko ku ji ro. That the reset in the tuni ya tin sen chwe mo
We have to escape from the height and go to the we cannot go openly running like that on the way, escaping by hiding and have to look at the proper channel which to run. So it took long time and very tired.
Pala, I feel like we could talk to you all day, but we have another person waiting. So I'm afraid we're going to have to end it for now. But we want to give you a phone number, and if you have any more things you want to tell us, please call the number and we'll arrange to see you again.
For songs you remember.
And especially songs. We want to hear more songs, yeah?
ane ta ta tu tu mong shu cha so sa ane pa la ta pe she she go de mix she tang de che pe ka shu chu so sa ane ta do ke ta mix ke ta pa la chu na mong shen ta do chi ta di chi she na ngi pe te ma cham se pheng ge do shuma ma bol pheng ge do sa ba na ta ta ga number te ge mobile number chi and de la tang da ane kon de ke dawa chi ge teng a just less wa adjust so tangbu tangbu 간도 지 아자지다 먼저 게임 수마 파갈레서 tangbu tangbu 또 게지 티서 어디 아자기 넘버래 안들 게지 티다 미기 양 게지 닝게로 와 어디를 쳐다 어투 체스
did you I just do have one more question, sorry. Did when you were during this time when you were escaping
페이지 토하는 남자들이 로알 상만도 배배랑데 때 쇼지 말해야 할래
로알나
근데 집에 고층에 약점인데 오늘 진짜 장갑 방에서 남자를 견다 부부리 하고 말어 장갑 오늘 다는 미 저불인 장갑 난다지 춘자도 야마다 매지 진짜 나의 차에 전혀 다니면 자꾸 시대미 시기고 집이 담에 시기거든 원내 전에 장갑 나온 삼고마다 간지 돌이 내서 마다 거나 빼 뮤직이 부르다 추야고 룽야고 미 빼 뮤직이 하려고 그러잖아 농 같은 데 농발 하유 그러잖아
It's our country was very beautiful. It's like a heaven. With the environment, everything, there's no ill or something like that. Of course, every human being dies, but not that we here it happens suddenly, ill this and that. There's no disease over there. It's like a heaven. How suddenly it came like that, feel very bad.
how suddenly it all
Of course, that.
날 하사 설명하면 롱바 한다지 하려 얘기를 와. 나는 너무 좋으면 당한 테레 샤샤는 거라 롱바 얘기. 다니가 지 강은 마야만지 sem다 쳐는 나와서 고예면에 소수기 다 또니까 가 체중 한동식을 war라 내가 맞아요 말이 대사람은 이제 기부 변조 가진 대요 말다 심제기를 도고리 신가치고리 신가매가 좁아 있는 이제 심제기를 도 찾나 주고 가리니마 가는 도로 war라 갈래 왜면 이나 셈발에 있는데 입에 딱 가르쳐요 가르치 라무 점을 가셔서 그 대우도 다 대사 가르쳐 샹선 이제 다니요 말다 할래 농가야 버려
It's wonderful our country and
I know, his memory is so good. I just wanted to ask you, Paula, do you remember any songs that you sang during the escape journey?
다 진짜 거든이 장당에 매요.
Feeling so this and happiness and you never remember to sing or say.
You did not even think to sing.
Think of singing like
of that time.
랑이 주변전에 내다 강불에서 강지면에 이나 주변전 삼면에 이제 경갑 반대 저는 이제 미세 탐하고 간대 지금 삼다 듣고 놓고 딱 간대 실 거 이제 시작 사 이제 옹기 삼바 정민도 와.
Never thought we'll be having accept refugees over here for a long time and settle like that.
No.
Just thought how will be our life next time and just thinking all this and never thought of.
Can you sing us one more short song before we leave? Anything.
슈바야 쇼야라불로야 쇼자비 이라마라불유야 쇼치미 이야르라부 슈바야 쇼야라부유야 쇼근데 보보라부유야 쇼감수 안디라부 슈바야 쇼야라부유야 쇼친제 파마라부 예야 쇼소리 야데라부
Teachers.
다른 자를 주제 보면서 쉬어지게 두고
Oh, come, when pay what you
말랑 로티지 되는 들은 타마티비.
now we remember the family, parents.
타마티는 할려가 되다. 가지고 상만 할려.
Oh, such a beautiful song.
Yeah.
What did you say?
He started remembering his parents, the kindness, what they have done when singing this song. Remember those times. So I feel excited this one.
I also thought I felt something like this. I didn't understand the words.
Yes, my big twist in that tears.
Yeah.
Nala makes you laugh. Oh.
Thank you. We'll let you go. I just need to ask you one more time because you gave us so much information. If this interview was shown in Tibet or China, would it be a problem for you? I just have to ask you again.
빨라게 단다결하게 망보시 간도 나해로와. 네가도 견나다 별 때는 강에 개어마로와.
강에 강. 남자들이 진짜 말해. 땅 안도 돼 여기 남이 강 쉬워와 강도. 별로 여기 이미 된다 가서 냥으로.
Yeah, we are very much happy. But what about the Tibet living in Tibet and in Tibet? How they sacrifice the life?
인제 지질 하유리 집어 대요. 가면.
Learn.
먼저 별 대금 다갈 차네.
They're
가이. 리샤다 불당 내가 지고르다.
giving all the flesh and everything sacrificing in Tibet. This is nothing contribution by me, he says.
네, 간다지 강차에 강알아서 간다면 뭐를 별한데.
Yeah, whatever we problem face, we can settle by anything. But then we cannot settle down anything. We have to face whatever problems. Feel very sorry over there in Tibet.
Bala, I want to say to you that your life is your contribution because it's your life then and your experience that is going to be recorded that is going to prove what Tibet was really like before the Chinese came. And this is a big contribution, believe me.
Palakirang Talangan to pay the gate, Lugu Mambuchi Nansa, you can pay them a church Gerola, maybe Mambuchi got to paint over Chitures. If our Karagi Cheki Chumuchi got to pay them a church rescue.
And the Chinese are always saying that Tibet was a very bad place before they came, and they made Tibet so much better. But your story is going to show that this is not the truth.
재미를 매대시고 좀 등을 리를 셔달래 ങ്ങൾ 두부가 치고에 가나면 당한테 용받는 남자 저리야 요 말이 뭐냐 전에 저요 말이 돌아 유신감들 춘자 고에 강요 말이 최 팀지 약보지어랑 소시에시니 지어 소수 되메레 틀려야지 두가 재미해도 냐뇨 시어스는데 그래서 다 저래다 다 이나도 미팅이 있어 오시기로 와고 최시자를 달랑고 둘랑고 가져야 오시기 얘기면 진짜 단 요만 다 있다 Tibet, ngagpa to put on the Miri Zarme, so it's a cherry with it in him. Conditions are your matter.
Our country is very peaceful with the Buddhism taught, and the Chinese just say that we are that in Tibet there is no proper living and all false, and we disagree with that.
Yes.
ngagpa that is some because 먼저 밑 탑자 다 재미 담블링 뭘 하고 있는데 먼저 오늘 당분이 최고 관절 또 관절이 재미 고예미기 통하면 이렇게나 그 재미 좋아서 이게 시작하고 좀 더 가셔다. 요 말에 등록하나 로아를 갈아서나 로아를 깨져 치 재미 깨져 어디 시요 말 가서 이
How can the Chinese say we are a part of the Tibet Chinese because living any food in we even don't know the language of the Chinese. How can we be a part of the Chinese? Even the dress and the fooding, all are different. The Chinese, what they said, we are part of the Chinese, is totally false, and I don't accept all this.
다 쉽지 쉽게지는 하마함도 세제 장갑세 등이 장갑세는 메디기 되니 메데체 가서 구zum 두데도 공부도 돌시에 되니 미트라리 찾아 메디당 미트라 땅을 bom부치고 다 땅을 bom부 맞으면서 놓고 인가 치러 왔다. 다 미산 주체리셨다. 소주 주센 되고 미지 거래 술은 얘기 잡으고 그 민도 갈다는데 세전 제로. 별로 밤에 나가서 별바 쉬는데 삼당 시에가 있는 빼빼 미사래다. 완전 진짜 장갑질 아예 그럼 장을 아야면 된다 저거 되는 게 쉬는 삼을 기부심으로 와. 삼을 등이 다는 가서 장갑면 간데스 되겠다 돼. 산재 공기시 시험은 거 거진데. 당아시로 당하다 남자를 오늘 간다면 동부도 좀 영화 사산이요 개근이 로틴지 전담이 간주면 저는 할래야 돼 지구에 가능한 저왕아 저와서네 왜냐면 내가 하와는 등산데 그럼 우수 겸이면은 같이 공부를 많이 하는 도고 도고면 지금 나가리 나배 미리 토프리다 약봉지 생활을 가능한 등선이 간장에 뒷바사기 가르치고 겨서를 싸서 올라미 가지고 된다 답하는 대신 되고 이나 나가서 배 장갑들에 현재 삼로 약보 땅 장갑이하고 겨때는 계속 할 수도 심하지만 진짜 장갑을 해서는 요만
And now we should to follow
원래 굳이 두고 갈 때는 미당 하고 때는 뿌려 매서서 잡을 통을 미통 딸이 와요 이렇게 같이 갖고 준대 진짜 누구 때까 잡을 진짜 때까 내가 안 해요 요즘 말다
I don't find any such minerals in Tibet throughout the world. These are all by used by the Chinese. And now only main thing is we should follow what the guidance and instruction given by His Holiness Dalai Lama as he's living now in the present. It's very necessary for the coming generation to continue and to should know the word that what is Tibet. Last,
Thank you so much.